flat through the smoke.
NiP falling back. That's a pretty decent kill. Can we get a follow-up? No, he's going to have to reload. And that might... Oh, what? They take down EG in 2 maps.
They're consistently good at fighting back from the lower bracket, and I would definitely not write them off.
And so Simple has everything to do, but how does he do that? Simple behind the triple stack finds Kenny first and foremost, then flicks down into Nexa. A no-scope, of course. We'll see. Boomich. Ooh, that could have been an easy kill, but it's Hunter and... Oh! Brah, brah. If he can't get the 1v5, then that's it. This is G2. Shattered, splattered, smashed, and smothered by what is a horrifying form from Na'Vi.
This is the game that we've been waiting for.
These are the 2 best teams in the world. They are fighting for the crown in CSGO.
Flashbang into the window. Sip gets the headshot. He needs just one more shot. He's right in front, and Sip, he's toying with him. He takes him down. Of course he does.
Waiting right around the corner. Could line them up, and here it is, the slaughter. Shaxi.
1 versus 4, and he's going to get a headshot. Follow. Oh, what? No way! We have found our first finalist right here.
This is just what they are capable of. They crush your dreams. It's elimination. Somebody in this one goes home. Perfecto back behind new box. CZ's not going to get that kill, but here's Electronic. Double kill and the 3rd. They push first and second from Flamey. He's looking for a 3rd. Oh, and he just slides right through Fallen. Na'Vi have done it. 30 rounds deep, but Team Liquid sent packing.
A year of elite competition has led us to this very moment where today we will crown the winner.
We have Simple going up against Cyber with the best 2 players, I guess, ever to touch Counter-Strike at this point. I feel they're really, really up there. So having them facing off in the first game, that's just the warm-up for the final. Could we ask for anything else?
It's kind of an all-in, right? You missed the shot here, but he doesn't. He usually doesn't. Perfecto, though, cleaning it up. Oh, that is amazing. The margins are really thin right now for the French side. Oh, what? No! Yeah, he's doing it again! Saku goes down! How is this going on? They're gonna lose it to the madness of Boomich out on long, 16-10. And we're gonna get Na'Vi against Astralis in the grand finals.
And now we find ourselves at the final hurdle, the final best of 3. For some team, Launders, tonight is the night. Glaive, oh my god, not ready for that one. Simple's gonna stick around with just the pistol. And then he goes back. No way! Servings from Simple. No scope from Simple. And even further damage. Glaive better clear this corner close. And does so. Now it's Simple. And it's oh so close to the corner. Glaive runs him down. He needs to shut them down. Oh, a jumping Deagle headshot. He's going to take a tidbit of damage. Simple over towards Arch. And there's a player right behind him. Wait, what a whip around. Low HP for 3. Na'Vi, they've got it. Na'Vi have done it. Your Blast Global Finals Grand Champs.
They finally do it. If Na'Vi can find a way to replicate these kind of performances on a consistent basis, they can be a candidate to be the best team in the world.
It's time to start again. For legends to be created. The competition will be fierce. Everyone has their eyes on the prize. This is anybody's game. It's time to come alive. Be a leader, believer, a fragging genius. Create the impossible. Create the unthinkable. Go down in history. Who will become the ultimate gods of the game? It's time to write the first chapter. Welcome to the creation.
NiP, they've surprised all of us so far in this tournament. Been playing some stellar Counter-Strike.
It's the Cinderella story.
This either works or they're never going to get close. Dupree with a one-kill CTR lining them up. A big triple. Oh!
Big is a fantastic team. They've been consistently within the top 4 for a long, long period. They are a world-class team.
12 seconds. If he dies in that corner, it is an absolute disaster. Trying to get that bomb plant down inside of the smoke. Oh! Can he get around the corner? He wins the round.
We're going into the rematch, and last time around it was all about the ninjas, but this is a big that are looking stronger than ever, and a one that will want to battle back and take that seed in here. It's a grand final matchup, and okay, both teams have qualified for our spring finals, but the all-important part is seeding here.
Absolutely. If you win this game during the spring finals, you will be seeded from 1 to 3. Teams will then seed whoever won all these groups, which means it's a huge advantage. Remember how cutthroat it is. If you're gonna have that seed, you'll take it.
Oh yes, and this is how it looks on your screen right now and right here. And if you'd asked Pimp at the beginning of this week what would be going on if we'd be sat in this situation, you probably would have only had one of these two teams in this spot.
Yeah, I would agree. I definitely would not have expected NiP to be in here, but as far as it goes, they've been the big surprise of the tournament so far. Been playing some stellar Counter-Strike and way above what we expected. Now, to be fair, when it comes into the seedings, right, we're basically playing for who's going to be seed number 3. I don't think any of these two teams will be seeded number 1 or number 2 by the time we get.
What if we get another upset, Pimp?
Yeah, nah, it's not gonna happen. You know? So we're playing as for who's gonna be seat number 3 when we get into the finals.
Seat number 3. He's already saying it, but you never know. They might impress us some more.
I know.
There might be something that happens. We've seen crazier things happen, and that's been the story of so far our spring Group 1. It has been crazy. It has been confusing because this was an NiP where we looked at and said, okay, you come with a stand-in, 3 days practice, we expect nothing.
There's no way to downplay the upset that NiP caused during this event, and granted, it's just one event, and of course, we have to be careful with our excitement. Yep. But at the same time, it would be disingenuous not to celebrate what they have done. NiP, a roster that we had come to profoundly doubt. I myself thought, they had reached the limits. That was it. Maybe top 10, 12, 15, somewhere between top 10 and 20. That would be the best we could get from NiP. They come in here. They remove Twist, a player we can argue, we talk about probably a little bit of a disappointment at the end of his career. They bring in ZTR from the academy, and then with 3 days practice, they bid big and Astralis to qualify for the finals? What kind of upset is that?
And this is funny, right? If you look at world rankings, you look at the teams, just have a look at these last maps. They lost 2 maps, quite close, okay, fair enough to VP. Then after that, they go on, they bring 1 new player in, they play 2 maps against Astralis, okay, tough matches, but for me, that showed more resilience out of the NiP squad.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because they were fighting back in all 4 games they played so far. They were actually behind. I think Peter from HLTV put out a very interesting tweet yesterday, highlighting that in every single matchup they've had so far in this tournament, they were fighting from behind. Of course, we remember them being down 8-15 against Big on Overpass, making the comeback. But in every single map victory they've had so far in this tournament, they've been playing from behind. So they're showing resiliency, and they're showing that as of right now, they're a team that even though they're down 12-8 or 12-7 or whatever, you can never count them out.
And what's interesting, right, we see the Overpass pick come in here for NiP. And Overpass is a map that has kind of fallen out of favor for many of the top teams.
Yeah, and funny enough, it used to be NiP's downfall a while ago. If you go back a year ago, they wanted to pick Overpass time and time again, and we were face palming because they were not winning overpass. They struggled a lot, and finally it's paying off. I think when you bring a new player into your lineup, you're going to make some very important decisions. What map do we focus on? And I agree with you. I think overpass is an interesting trump card to have in the Veto ecosystem nowadays. It's not a map people like to play. It's not a map people practice. They don't try to be expert on it. They live in the middle of the pack. So NiP, they come in with that overpass pick, and it paid off already.
And it's also a map that people don't often veto, which helps them out quite a lot.
Yeah, it could, because I think Overpass is one of the least played map by statistics, right? There's not a lot of teams out there who wants to play it. There's not a lot of teams who actively choose it anymore. We saw Astralis during the global finals all of a sudden pick it up and choose into Overpass, and we see more and more teams leaning in towards it, and that's what breaks dust to, right? Some teams will do the analysis and say, okay, Overpass is a map a lot of teams don't play. How about we become the masters of Overpass? How about we become good at Overpass, so whenever we go into a veto, we have that strong asset to our team. So that's how it changes sometimes, and it's a very interesting thing to follow for the rest of the season, if that is going to be the case for the rest of it as well.
And inside of NiP, right, we talk about Threat being a very hands-on coach. He has a lot of experience and a good idea of how he wants to play the game for the Ninjas. But also, I think that Hampus has helped with a lot of this new identity we see with these guys.
Yeah, and I think he transformed himself as a player, because if you remember, Hampus came in NiP as a rookie. He was a rookie. I mean, he had a little bit of experience in the Swedish scene, but nothing too crazy. He comes in as an IGL, and helped by Threat, I think he kind of establishes himself as an IGL for the Swedish scene. Remember, it was an old boys club for the longest time. Like, you were gatekept outside of the top CS in Sweden. If you didn't know anyone, you could not make it. Hampus broke through that with Roland, for example, another name that we need to mention. And now he is blossoming into an IGL. But I don't want to give him too much praises right now. Maybe one might be jumping the gun.
Okay.
But what we have seen from him, at least in these 2 games, that was really good.
And like you were mentioning there, though, with Hampus, he's been in this position for a long time where he was playing with like these players that were supposed to be the up-and-coming, right? The ones we were supposed to see come through in Sweden. But we haven't seen a lot of this talent come through. But then they find someone like ZTR from the young Ninjas.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be interesting to follow for the future, because I agree, we don't want to jump the gun just yet. Let's be completely honest, and let's make people out there understand what's going on. They came into the tournament saying they've only had 1 or 2 days of practice with CTR. There was a couple of maps they played in the first couple of matchups. They didn't even play. They didn't even practice coming into it. So right now they're in that sort of like, let's call it the honeymoon period, where they're unpredictable, they're motivated, they're feeling themselves very much. You heard, I believe that was Hampus saying as well, there's no bad feelings within the lineup. Whenever they lose around, they just, keep the good spirit going, to keep the good mood. That's the honeymoon period. That's what it does to you. So for NiP to replicate the performance we've seen so far, it's going to be tough for them, but it's looking good so far.
And this is why I'm actually really impressed with NiP, because although I do understand the concept of honeymoon period and I fully buy into it, I think players are giving 105% with the new roster coming in. If you told me a week ago, you know what, NiP in a honeymoon period is going to beat Astralis, I'll tell you, hell no. Hell no. A honeymoon period is a good concept, but it's not going to help them that much. And actually it did. They beat Big and Astralis, sure, off the back of a honeymoon period, probably. But the very fact that they can do it is in itself a telling sign.
And the one thing when you look at this NiP roster, right? Okay, ignore ZTR for a moment. We spoke about Plopsky, we spoke about Rez, we spoke about Nork, and we said all of them, they could be the one, they could be the consistent player in here. But right now, Nork has the actual star performance so far throughout this event. And again, we can just say one event with it, but finally we're seeing what we're supposed to from some of these players.
Look, I always look at the structure when I think about a team, and I try to have win conditions, which is, by the way, what player is supposed to perform, how is he supposed to perform, how is that player supposed to do. Nog, for me, is supposed to perform to the extent he is performing right now. That's the optimal situation for NiP. Look at some of these stats as well. KD ratio, ADR, kills map, open duel, win percentage. Last 3 months versus this event. And all the right side is where he's shining, because at this event, he is delivering. We talked about it in the pre-show today. It's an AWP-centric era of Counter-Strike. You need him to have that kind of impact.
So who do we look at now, though, as the second follow-up to that?
I think Rez is the obvious pick. I think Plopsky has shown before as well he can be that guy. And I think that's the interesting thing about NiP, that there are a lot of different strings to play off. You said it yourself yesterday, I believe, that at some point we couldn't even pinpoint the second star. All of them were the second star, and all of them were the worst player on the lineup, sort of. So in that sense, there's a lot of depth potentially within NiP. I think Rez has shown us before that when he's playing very, very well, he's sort of like confident in some way in complexity, that when he's hitting the mark, he's up there with the very best. Whereas for Plopsky, we saw a period of 3-4 months where he was outstanding in NiP, but it's been a little bit lackluster since. So there's a lot of players within NiP that have shown the promise, that have shown the potential. Who the second star is right now, it'd have to be between Rez and Plopsky.
Now, we talk a lot about Cinderella stories, right, and how it can all go in Counter-Strike, and that could be the theme for NiP right now. But let's see if Nork thinks it is as well.
Nork, it's been a bit of a Cinderella story so far for NiP here at the last spring groups. Can you tell me the biggest reason why you feel like NiP haven't dropped a map so far in the tournament?
I think we've all been playing great, all five, especially the new kid, CTR. I think what we needed was a whole new start. We're all very hyped up. We have many emotions, and we're really happy to play.
So how much has the team dynamic changed since you guys have added ZTR? What kind of energy has he been bringing?
I was really surprised, actually, because he's bringing a lot of energy. From a social perspective, he's pretty shy, but while we're in game, he's completely another person, and he's just like really hyped up, just screaming nice, and he's being very energetic.
I want to ask about your own personal performance as well, because of course we saw you taking some medical leave back in September of 2020. Now, of course, you've had a few months back with the team. So what do you feel like have been your biggest evolutions as a player during that time?
I've been just trying to become better overall. I know since my last event here at Summit, I played really bad, and I looked at myself and I told myself, okay, how can I improve? And I know my biggest problem before was that I went into this defensive state where I was just playing very, very passive for no reason, because I know that's not how I'm supposed to play. So I've tried to play more aggressive and just open up space for my team.
And of course, we've seen you currently, you're the joint second highest ranked player in the overall tournament here at the Blast Spring Group. So where have you found that comfort? Is it becoming a little bit more aggressive as a player? Can you talk me through that?
Yeah, for sure. A little bit more aggressive, like I said before. And it's like I said, it's a whole other, we're also energetic, which Hampus just tells me, do whatever you want to, and we'll support you. And I've just been trying to do my best, and it's worked out so far.
I wanted to ask about the communications within the team as well, because that was something that Threat really highlighted, that ZTR was really, really good at, the strength that he brought to the team. So how do you feel like that's kind of changed in terms of when you're in the server together?
Yeah, before this tournament at Summit, I think we were all at the rock bottom. I don't want to blame Twisto, because it wasn't really his fault. We all did our best, but I felt like we were a bit depressed when we played. But now when we brought the new kid on the block to the team, everyone is just going full focus and just talking so much. And it's so fun to play right now.
And if you're having fun, not just while winning, but playing with the people you're playing with, it makes a huge difference. But interesting what he's talking about, the aggressive style and the passive styles that can come out here.
Yeah, I think it was a very key passage as well for the viewers at home to understand that there is a relationship between being aggressive, confidence, and being passive, right? In one way, you can see it that the more aggressive you are, the more successful you are, then you will get that confidence. But it's a double-edged sword, right? If you're trying too much and you're not finding the shot, you will go back. And I think Nog in that interview says it quite well. He realized when he was not finding his groove, he was being too passive, which means he was never regaining that confidence. And that's some of the criticism I had personally for him in the past few weeks, a month with NiP. I said, I want to see him try and make the difference. In that event so far, he's at 67% entry success, which is good, but he's still not doing it that much. I want to see him go out, try to take the risk, build that confidence. That's what he needs to do, and I'm happy to see that he knows about it.
He also does have an in-game leader that all of a sudden believes in him fully, right? When you have the AWP player on your lineup and you're being told, do whatever you want, we will support you as good as we can. You know that there's, of course, a lot of attached pressure with that statement, but also a lot of belief from the teammate that Hampus wouldn't say that if he didn't believe that Nog had the skill or had the opportunity to go make the difference. So for him to be given that responsibility, I think that's a very healthy sign for him and his future career, and also a very healthy sign for NiP for the future, because they ride and die with Nog right now. He's playing fantastic.
He is playing fantastic. And to learn more about the system and understand more that's going on with the Ninjas, we should also hear from Threat.
Thank you so much, Threat, for taking the time to have a chat with me. We spoke about your new addition, ZTR, after your first matchup and a monster performance from him. And now you've had a little bit more time to practice, had another official under your belt. How do you feel he's further integrating with the team?
I'm still very impressed by him. I mean, statistically, he didn't play as good in the second match, but he still performed very well. We hadn't actually played Mirage before yesterday, so we did one Screamer Mirage. We just put Eric on A, which made some new strats on the fly, and we managed to beat Big, and he contributed a lot on Mirage.
Some very impressive stuff indeed. I also wanted to ask about the energy within the team. It's been something you've said has been so crucial for this consistent run of form that we've seen so far at the spring groups. So when you're down, like we saw against Big, down 0-9, 15-7 at one point, how do you help the team's energy kind of revamp up? What kind of strategies do you have for that?
Well, in that particular situation, I actually took a timeout. I don't know if it was actually in Blast where we played face and we were down 9-0 ST on overpass. And I just said, guys, it's just like the face match, you know? And they're like, yeah, we did this before. And we did it again. I don't know if it was double overtime, but I think it was 1 overtime or something. We managed to win in that match.
I wanted to ask about your new performance manager as well. We see coming in a former Olympian rower and coach as well in David. What kind of strategy does he bring to the team? How has he been working with the team so far?
So he works with them on the more like mental parts of the game. Sort of handling tilt, becoming nervous, sort of, okay, if you get a bad start, how do you handle that? And basic things as, okay, how do you keep up a high energy? What are you supposed to eat? I mean, it's not like we wake up at 6 a.m. and do 10K run, but we still try to get the energy up as much as possible. And for this year, what my goal and sort of what I failed with last year is that I was sort of delegate that sort of responsibility to other people so I can just solely focus on building tactics and focusing on our playbook.
We've seen a couple of other teams bringing in people from traditional sports such as Vitality as well. What kind of influence do you feel they give? Do you feel like they give a different perspective on the whole team's approach?
Well, a little bit, I'd say. If you put it like this, sports have been around longer, so some of the things that are similar to esports, they've had more time to work on, and it's sort of just so we don't have to make the same mistakes that they've done in sports already. Though, I mean, he did work for us a little bit last year, and I sort of realized I have to be more clear, okay, which part are similar to sports and which parts are different.
A bit of the threat philosophy coming out.
Always
there,
nice.
Right? It
Always
is
nice to hear from him. You know, he says something about how they remained calm when they were down like 8-15 and they knew they could actually make it back. I think that also participates in the honeymoon period. It's not only just players fragging, it's everyone willing to go out of their ways to give the 10% extra to not give up when things are hitting rock bottom and it's really hard. You know, you stay in the game because that's the new experience. I want everyone all the time, always, to give that 10% extra. Because you can win any game, you're down 15-8. But suddenly when you have a new teammate, you find it more natural to give that extra energy. So that's also part of the honeymoon concept.
It's the nothing to lose, right? You have nothing to lose. They know going into Mirage after they've only played one scrim on the map, they got nothing to lose. If they were to be bowed out 16-5, they could tell themselves afterwards, sure, that was supposed to happen. We haven't practiced. Now they go in there and they actually beat their opponents on the maps they don't practice. When you are as skilled as these NiP players are and you got nothing to lose, that's when you're very, very dangerous.
And this is probably now the most pressured game for this new NiP lineup, right? Because you came through, you already beat Big, you've beaten Astralis. Now you've got to do it against a Big again, who just took down Astralis and potentially looking better than the Big you faced at the time. Now the pressure's really on for these guys.
The pressure is on. They are still already qualified for the final, so I don't expect that to be the highest pressure ever. What's going to be interesting is to see how Big handle the decompression from beating Astralis. Do we see Big coming in 200% or not? To me, in itself, that's going to be a question. If you're NiP, just go out there and take whatever they give you. Take it. Just seize the opportunity. You have a Big that's not going 100%. Just take it all. Beat them again. Make a statement. Make sure everyone remembers how you played that first event. Because Big, they also have something to prove.
And that's it, right? Big's proving point here is that we are the 4th best team in the world and we can beat any team on any given day. And they need to prove that here against NiP. I actually expect in some way a bit of a statement across one of these maps at least.
I agree, and I think everyone expects that Big are currently, you know, as you said, the 4th best team in the world. What if they want to be number 3, number 2, or number 1? They have to beat teams like NiP and they have to do it consistently. So I agree, the pressure is on Big right here. I think everyone out there, you know, with a reasonable mind would expect Big to win this matchup, let's be honest. There may be sitting a few Swedes out there thinking that, nah, NiP, they're the favorites, but let's be honest, right? Big Clan, they are the favorites. They are the better team by paper. They have been together for longer. They have more experience. They have better synergy, all that kind of stuff that we nerds talk about, right? The one thing NiP got going for them is the confidence and it's the nothing to lose mentality. That's going to be dangerous and that's going to be something Big have to be aware of.
Now, one thing I really want to touch on, and I know the Siriusson and Nork battle, the AWP meta we've been talking about is so key, but I want to look at the IGL side of things, because Hampus, in some of these games, has been leading the example, right? He's been going in and taking some of these openings when Nork maybe wasn't able to get it done and was opening up and creating out space. But tabseN at the same time, he's found his confidence, he's found his form again.
You're right. Both IGL are actually performing at a high level right now. I think tabseN has a little bit more credit to his name as a IGL, as a fragger, right? Whereas Hampus is still fighting back. But this man on your screen, I said it before the game started. I said, look, tabseN is performing right now, and it is supposed to be a win condition for Big. You need to see him find the impact with the M4A1S. By the way, still playing the silencer, old school. I like that. But he's in a good mood right now. He's in a good groove, and obviously it's not the same tabseN as we were talking to a couple of months back. He's confident. I cannot really pretend like I know why. I'm just happy to see it happening in front of my eyes.
And when it comes to Siriusson, though, we saw what he can do on the map of Inferno, for example, against Destroyers, but he also still has some of these maps where he goes a bit quiet, he goes a bit missing. I think this battle between him and Nork should be very interesting, because Siriusson should be coming into that with full confidence, but I think Nork will have a point to prove.
Yeah, exactly. You want to prove a point. You want to prove that he can not only do it against Astralis, which he's already done, but he can do it against Siriusson, who's the next, let's say, the next big star in the making right now. When you talk about offs, maybe Nork could be that guy if he can find consistency. So definitely a game within the game. I do quickly want to follow up on what you said with tabseN and Hampus as well, because people underrate Hampus' individual skill a lot.
Yeah.
Right now, the last 3 months, his rating 1.07. tabseN 1.03. He's currently fragging out tabseN right now by the statistics. Sure, Big Clan may play some better teams. They've been playing some bigger tournaments, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of raw individual skill, people underestimate Hampus a lot, and they cannot do that. He's a solid player.
He is a solid player indeed. Should we take a look at the veto, guys? We see what map pool we're going to get this time around. Do you expect the same, though, Maniac?
No, I expect changes, James, to be honest. Even in the ban, last time around, NiP removed Nuke. That is my first question. Are they going to go through with the Nuke pick again? They removed Nuke. That's out of the question. Now, Big, I'm going to take a second right here. I personally, for what it's worth, did not really agree with the Mirage pick that they used last time.
Vertigo?
I did not, I think Vertigo is, I think Dust 2 as well, why not, is an extremely good map for Big.
Really?
But Vertigo, it's a good map for them. But Vertigo would be the punish for me, right? You have an NiP with a new roster. We don't really know how much time they've had together this time around. Danke vielmal, danke schön, es freut mich. Freut mich sehr. Move to German for a second here. And then now NiP, they went for Overpass. I don't see the same leeway. I think they kind of have to go for Overpass. They stick with it. That makes sense. For the third map, well, it's not going to be Vertigo. This could be Mirage. Mirage is the third I could see coming. Dust 2 Mirage, either of these, I'll be okay.
Ooh.
See, Big, they remove it now.
Ooh.
They picked it last time.
Yeah.
They got scared. And I think Dust 2 is in the making right here. Vertigo could be it, right? Oh, sorry, Vertigo has been picked, but I think Dust 2 is a map where both these teams are going to feel fairly comfortable. I do agree with you. I don't want Big to pick Dust 2.
Thank you.
But I would like it as a third deciding map. We do get to see Inferno, though, which is third map special. You know, if all the maps, all the games is finishing on Inferno, but I think Big, as of recently, actually have been looking solid on a map like Inferno. You also have to take in account, and people may not know that, right? But Inferno is one of the maps, at least to my understanding, that requires the most team play if you want to be good on the CT side, and you're playing against a team who's had limited practice. So having Inferno is a very good idea.
It is very good, and the Dust 2 ban, though, coming out from NiP, because we know how strong Big in it. I don't disagree with you there, but I also see that as where NiP at times might have been able to get an advantage individual-wise and feel some confidence on it.
Look, you're right. This is the best map possible to have your individuals shine and kind of downplay the lack of preparation. But the way I look at an event when a team comes in with a new roster, you can clearly see that they're targeting maps, right? They had played 3 different maps moving into this veto. They had played Overpass, Mirage, and Inferno. And to me, that's not a mystery or a secret. They are not ready on 6 maps. It's impossible with 3 days of practice. So if I'm Big, I want to push them out of the zone that they know. I want to push them out of that comfort zone, force them to play on maps they can. Sure, individually, the Ninjas can answer back. But I'm really glad they did not give that Mirage. They go on to Vertigo. That makes me happy.
So we've all agreed on the desk, right? That, okay, we should see definitely the Bigs, the favourites coming into this. But let's see what these odds are going to say. Let's see what we're going to be given on this one. And it is okay.
All right. In itself, it's already a statement for NiP.
Yeah, that's
it
like
is a statement.
You've grown in that strength, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, you started.
What was it, like 5.8 last time?
Stonks.
Yeah.
It's going up.
Their stonks are definitely going up a bit. Not enjoying that one, Pim?
Yeah, I am. I'm just, sucking it in, and enjoying being Maniac up here.
who wouldn't enjoy being Maniac up there?
No, why would you be beating me? Is that what you said?
No, I don't want to beat you at all.
I said being you, not beating you. Being you. Don't worry.
Oh my god, I was like, what?
I don't want to beat you. I do think you're right, though. I do think that NiP have a better shot at beating Big Clan this time around. The problem is that Big Clan, as the map progressed right here as well, they should feel comfortable in every single matchup. So for NiP to win this matchup, for NiP to win again, they not only have to replicate the performance they did a couple of days ago, but they have to do even better. And we talked about it already. I think what we saw from NiP the first couple of days here were fantastic. I don't think we're going to see them play at that level, you know, for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I think there's going to be a downfall at some point, like the stocks you're talking about. They go stonks in the beginning, and then there's a downfall at some point. Same will probably happen to NiP. But if you're Big Clan right now, you got to win. You got to make a statement. And I want to see the exact same thing you asked for, James, and that is Big coming in here and showing us why they can be not only the 4th best team in the world, but maybe even number 3, 2, or number 1 again.
Now, we're also going to have a question answered, Maniac, that you brought up a long time ago. The fact that teams were avoiding potentially playing NiP on Vertigo. Maybe they had done some good magic on it in practice.
Yeah, because NiP, back then when Twist was in, they were kind of familiar with Vertigo. I think they had some very good maps against Vitality, for example. I remember the Frenchies being a little bit surprised by how NiP were preparing for them specifically. You think about Threat and the amount of preparation he can do. I think NiP used to be a team that could target pick Vertigo against specific teams. Not that I would say they're a very good Vertigo team, but if you gave them 1, 2, or 3 replays, they would go in it, analyze it, and find tailored solutions to win situations. And I think it left a mark in people's spirit as whoa, wait a minute, NiP on Vertigo, they're no joke. But in that case, if I'm Big, that was a no-brainer.
Now, guys, we all got our predictions wrong, so the team we chose for this is not in there. So, Maniac, which one are you choosing this time?
Big.
Yeah, it should be big. There's no doubt about it. If NiP can pull it off again, that'd be very, very, very impressive.
Well, I'm going to go enjoy the Big Clan as well. Thank you very much, Maniac. Throwing in the German to end this off with. It's time for us to kick it to a break. It is a rematch, but it's not all the same maps. And this time around, Big are going to try and conquer the Ninjas. Is it going to be the case? Well, you'll be finding out with Scrawny and Launders in just a few moments.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the casting desk. I'm Scrawny. This is Launders, and we're about to bring you guys a hell of a game of Counter-Strike. We've got Revenge on the menu. Maybe. The odds will put it in the favor of Big over NiP, who obviously just 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? Yeah, 1 day ago, took them down, Launders. This is quite the anomaly. A fresh set of ninjas. ZTR, 17 years old. 3 days ago, had no notable wins. Now he's already got best of 3 victories over the likes of Astralis and the very opponents he plays against tonight.
No, he's been really great. He's been really great. And I mean, what's cool about it is, okay, let's compare ZTR's inaugural performance to Honda.
Sure.
Okay, because Honda got 3 aces versus G2 in a best of 3, and it was a really amazing inaugural best of 3. But with ZTR, what felt a little bit different was that it felt like he was playing with experience, and he wasn't just in this system that was a lot of chaos and there wasn't too many flashy frags. But when I watched his demos back on Inferno and on Overpass, what I saw was he was kind of playing some boring spots. Sometimes on the CT side he was playing his positions, but he was also just knew how to become a part of the round in a way where he moved everything forward, wasn't there just exit fragging or getting one lucky kill. It felt like he was playing with, like, as if he had played with the team for months already. That was really what was really cool. So I think at the end of the day, you know, Honda finished that series with like 60 ADR, but then had 3 aces and like lots of memorable rounds.
Had the highlights.
And ZTR, he kind of like quietly top fragged on Overpass and had a couple of very, very good entry rounds. And a lot of the rounds was also just throwing supporting grenades and still managed to put up very good performances. So for my money, there's still more to see from ZTR, and it was already a very, very quietly impressive introduction for him on the roster. And I had to wonder as well, he was Device's bold prediction, right?
Yeah.
But when would Device have had played against him?
He wouldn't have.
And I don't think that you would make a bold prediction of somebody that you haven't played against. That's my bold prediction.
Okay.
Okay, because it's different when you play against a player in a server. Then you really know how good they are, right? But when you watch them play, it only feels so, you know, you hear players talk about coldzera's shoulders peaks. And you can see them in the and when you're watching a match or something with X-Ray on or in a demo, they look pretty good. But it's not the same as like going up against coldzera when he's in Divider and Overpass, like shoulder peeking, you're trying to bait your op shot. That's when you really feel it. We all have that player we know, right? And so I feel like I'm assuming that Ninja scrimmed with him or played with ZTR in the past, or ZTR got to play scrims versus Astralis. I'm thinking. Otherwise, I'm wondering how he was so on Device's radar for that bold prediction.
You're conspiring, that much is clear.
Yeah. And it's kind of like that whole Gambit thing. Like when we were casting them at DreamHack Masters, they were talking about, yes, this is the first time that everybody gets to see them versus Astralis. But Astralis, we're playing against them a lot because you don't really want to scrim against teams you're going to play in tournament. So like that's how the tier 2 teams, like the strong CIS teams and stuff, they're getting a lot of experience because a lot of the tier 1 teams play against them as good teams, but also teams that they're not going to see at a playoff stage at a big event. But yeah, a lot of speculation on my part. I really don't know, you know, how much was known about ZTR at the time, but the stats that we saw on HLTV didn't really point to a standout star player. And there was nothing that we knew from the outside that would tell us that he'd be a good fit for replacing Twist, who really, I mean, it felt like experience was the most important part for Twist, because he has to know how to play against certain teams and support in a lot of rounds. So that seemed like something that you wouldn't want to have someone without experience doing. So,
personally, I'd rather be ZTR than Honda, because, you know, Honda, he made a name for himself.
Yeah.
We're always going to remember those highlights. They will be played on the highlight reels. There is no doubt.
Definitely.
Some of the sickest, I mean, one of the most, you know, individually impressive debuts ever. But if you compare the results at the end of those 3 days we got to see him play, they walked away with no wins. Nothing notable.
Right.
ZTR's got that BO3 victory within the system of this Ninjas team.
Right.
Over Astralis.
Kind of the idea of it.
Over Big.
Right.
And maybe over Big twice.
That would be the story tonight, yes. And of course, yeah, I mean, that just, maybe that's why the feeling of it felt like he was really a part of the round.
Yeah.
It's ultimately because they actually did win the maps.
This makes me anxious. Oy. I can't put eye drops in my eyes. And I don't know what Keto was up to, but he was the last guy to sit down, clearly just came indoors. Now he needs eye drops. What was he doing out there?
Wait, what are you trying to say?
I don't know. What was he doing out there? He's looked awfully calm as of late. Oh, fresh paper. Yeah.
Just
Oh,
pretending like he was crying. I mean, everything's so nice in here, but they
Yeah.
could have just got like a waste paper basket for him, right?
I think they did. I think he just moved it right now,
Okay.
if I had to assume. You know, there's been a slow integration of upgrades here in this new room.
Dude.
I'm very happy that Big took the time between yesterday and today to use these backdrops, which are really cool with the individual names, get them behind the desks. Because yesterday, you know, kind of like it's separated everybody. They're right down the middle of the room.
Yeah.
So when you turn around, you'd just be met by a backdrop. Now we get this experience.
Less
Check them out.
claustrophobic.
You know, you've got your team vibe going, and you still have these very clean,
I'm with you.
all-white backgrounds.
I think it looks great. No, they've done such a great. They've been a model.
A model team, a model organization.
Yeah,
When,
definitely.
when they were announced as Blast's final and newest partnered team, I was super excited. Not only because of the results we got to see out of them out of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that Big, just as an organization, definitely raises the bar.
Yeah. When I'm like, I go on HLTV crying about like player webcams and stuff. Like I'm not thinking about Big.
Nope.
Like they're look at this. This is just awesome. They do everything really well. So
Plus, there's just good mini storylines, right? The Tizian Fruit Odyssey is one we'll have to revisit this evening once we get an update on the snacks.
yeah, I was pretty off last time. We need the close up because last time he had like a yellow and red fruit. So I immediately was like, okay, pineapple and watermelon. But then it turned out to be like
Kiwis and raspberries.
kiwis and berries. So I was just way off.
Whack.
We'll have to see. And then he always matches them to the team that he's playing against, at least usually. And then Chad pointed out to me that like OG have the flower.
Yeah.
So
The sunflower.
that's why he had the like, well, what I thought were pineapples, which were I don't know.
Is it possible you're colorblind?
I mean, it could be. I guess if no one told me. So the German flag is black, red, and yellow.
Yes.
Okay. Then I think I'm okay.
Last I checked.
Okay. I think I'm okay.
Keto's doing all right. I see knives in the background, so we just got to get this knife round out of the way. Come on.
Is that like a 99 damage floor mat?
It looks like it, yeah.
Right? That's like it's reminding me of that.
Very,
Which would make sense
very fun.
because that's a German organization too, right?
Yeah, it's the German broadcast channel, I guess is what
Right.
we'd call it, right? Yeah, the German broadcast channel.
Looks very much like
I saw a
German.
great clip coming out of them yesterday. It actually made me a little bit jealous.
Okay.
There's always this conversation around commentary and Counter-Strike and those damn biased casters.
Yeah.
Right? Those biased casters. I was having this discussion with Joey.
I think it's fun cheering for OG. No, I'm just kidding.
It is a delight sometimes when I tune into some of the 99 damage streams and see their highlight clips because they're very clearly cheering for Big. They get to cast with their heart on their sleeve.
Oh, it's super fun to watch biased commentary.
They get to and
but also the viewers get to be
biased
on the
with
same
them.
page.
Yeah, so it's like casters are biased, which is okay.
I mean, I don't care. I remember when we casted at Istanbul, last Istanbul, and it was the finals.
2018.
It was like a strawless liquid. Like, who would I be biased towards? Probably the North American team.
Probably the North American.
I got so many hate tweets from people saying, I can't believe how biased you were to Astralis. At that point, I was like, I'm not going to try anymore.
Let them.
I literally tried so hard not to be biased that people thought I was biased towards the wrong team.
Well, why'd you do that? The hell's wrong with you?
So I was like, you know what? There is really no point in fighting this at all. But yeah, it is very fun too.
It's fun to cast because then you get that connection.
When you watch like the Finnish casters casting like Ents or OG, super fun too.
There's just that next level of investment.
Yeah.
The emotional connection between us, the talking heads, and you guys, the distant eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's right. I know.
Well, I like tweeting in a different language because it feels like, first of all, I can't speak any other languages, so.
What do you
feels like
mean?
I gotta-
You told me you speak French.
Well, oui, but of course, I don't like to do that in public.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I tweet in Finnish, it's like I'm tweeting in a secret code planet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Finland is kind of a different planet.
It's
yeah,
really
it can
cool. And I like everybody that's from there. and communicating with them.
Right. Because they feel like aliens. Is what you're trying to tell me.
We are aliens, yeah.
Wow. It's a lot to digest.
Yeah, so. I won't put Rez to sleep. Nock's been playing better. And
Nock's been playing lights out.
One of my storylines for Nock is that my bold prediction is that he becomes top 20 player this year. Even though I didn't think that ZTR would be a good roster move on paper because it just I didn't see the signs of like what they saw. But Nock has not had good performances, but with ZTR, he actually has been really, really good recently. And I just think Nock is a really smart player who can out-op top-oppers. I really do believe that, even though some games he is definitely inconsistent and shows that he sometimes can't hang with the best at least consistency. I don't know what exactly was holding him back, but I see a really strong player in Nock. I was very impressed watching his demos. He had a couple of very strong matches last year versus FaZe Clan, where Rain was going like insane, and Nock was keeping up with him. He was out-opping Brokey in all those matches. I feel like he is super intelligent when it comes to CS and very underrated.
I think he could have his hands full tonight. That's something we could talk about, right?
Yeah,
the old
true.
Nock versus Searson. Searson, who yesterday we began the broadcast, our talented, nicely done production on the money. That's what I wanted. We began the conversation yesterday of Mr. Consistent, Searson, over 2019 and 2020 versus top 30 teams. His stats were nearly identical. He's just been good now for at least 2 years. Freaking up there. And yesterday, it was kind of a little underwhelming. You know, NiP got that 2-0 victory over them, and maybe not everybody saw that one coming because Searson was supposed to have that heavy impact that we just didn't quite get from him. It was an off day.
Why is his
earlier today?
Sorry, go ahead.
Earlier today, that was not the case. Searson's back, full force.
Yeah.
Full force versus Astralis. Searson was the real deal. So now it's important that you bring up Nock and his opping ability, and particularly his skill set that seems to be going up head-to-head versus counter-oppers.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's going to shut down Searson, I think it could be Nock.
Yeah, I think they're both players who... There's certain players who have a quality that, like, when you watch them play in the demo, really just feel like they just have a better inventory of who else on the other side of the map, and they think around that, as opposed to just reacting to everything like some players do. You can see their brain cogs move. You can see them turn. I think Nock has that quality. Searson has that quality. He always does that move where you're like, oh, he's clearing this because he knows, and then he does it, and then he wins the round. He wins the clutch. There was that round, or I think it was 3 rounds in a row versus NiP where Searson clutched, I think 1v2,
Mirage,
1v1.
man.
Yeah.
Yep. Just kind of kept them floating for a little while.
Yeah. Definitely a special player. Tapson said that Searson, when he watches him play, he thinks he's making a bad decision, and then Searson wins. And then he said he stopped doubting him, basically, because Searson was always showing him new ways to play the game. And that's actually the same rhetoric that Alex used to talk about ZywOo, that when back at the Blast Spring groups and before that, he said, like, I would look at him play, and I would think this is how you're supposed to play in this situation based on the information that he had. And then ZywOo would play in a completely different way and, like, have even more impact. And that he said that's when he felt like he realized he's a genius. And you know, I mean, Searson's not there yet, of course, but I think he really is on the precipice of being considered elite. Yeah.
Yep, hands down. I think, you know, one of the biggest components of being considered elite, one of the biggest, you know, arguments for it to me is consistency.
Yes, definitely.
You know, you can have the highest ceiling in the entire world. If you can't reach that peak often enough, you're not going to find success in Counter-Strike.
Your team's got to maintain, like, at least in the top 5. I mean, you know, winning a major can't be prerequisite because, of course, you know, simple, ZywOo don't have one. But winning big events that are equally hard to win, like a Blast Global Finals, Cologne, like these kinds of really, really high-profile events, those can be just enough. But of course, you don't get to that status without like a decent level team. So you could be top tier, but your team's also got to win. And Big had a really good year in 2020. So just looking to continue that forward.
I look forward to seeing Searson back into a LAN environment. As we move forward and as Counter-Strike gets back on the road, the global road, we had an interview with him, a rare interview where we got to hear Searson speak.
Yeah.
He seemed really cool about the whole, playing from home type deal. We were asked,
I love
or
that,
he was asked
honestly.
rather, like, you're with the group now. You're in the camp. How does this feel?
He was kind of like, yeah, they smell bad, but it's fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what his answer felt like.
I'll deal with it because we're winning. But he's just as happy to be playing from home. He said that that's where he's in his comfort zone, and a lot of people can operate at their top level within the comfort zone. And there is no doubt that there are going to be players who can begin their history from the comfort zone. That is what the online era has given us. Guys like Grim, who've been playing online forever, get the jump up with Team Liquid. We're going to see these guys start their books, start their pages in this era right here and now. Thank you guys for your patience. It is time to get into the game. Map 1 now underway. It is Vertigo. And it's not live.
I played Face It today, my first Face It game in Europe, and we won. Shout out my team. They were really cool. And I'm I'm undefeated in Europe now.
Yeah.
And also, just want to say to everyone who's watching, I am gonna miss playing Counter-Strike in Europe.
It is the best experience ever.
I know the grass is always greener, like I'm sure everyone here who thinks, oh, I've had a bad experience.
Nope. Europe, this is the place to play Counter-Strike. It's the place to play Counter-Strike.
It's a lot more fun. And I gotta miss the people here, very nice people.
I max my ranks here in Europe. I use my time wisely.
What are you calling that achievement, by the way?
I'm gonna call it Gaben's Trifecta.
Nice. Okay. So
I am global elite in competitive. I am global elite in wingman, and I'm howling alpha. Sorry, let me say that one more time, nice and seductively for you there. Howling alpha. They didn't need to know that.
Well,
No. Let me interrupt you. Howling alpha is not a rank, Launders. Howling alpha is a mindset.
Okay.
Howling alpha is how you get out of bed in the morning.
You done?
Yeah.
You lost the rank.
God damn it.
What rank are you now?
Hunter Fox 3.
Hunter Fox 3. At least you got a screenshot. Now we're live. You hyped?
I am. Let's watch some real alphas take over the server. Let me try this again. And now we get into it. Round 1 of Vertigo between Big and the Ninjas in Pajamas, taking the top of our opening group here. The Blast 2021 circuit well underway. Tonight we're playing for that top spot. Ninjas, they have been the talking point this weekend. Absolutely, hands down, man. BO3 victory over Astralis and the opponents that lie ahead of them. But Vertigo, interesting place to begin our parade. Plopsky, he's going to lead the charge silently from the bottom of the B site into the lower tunnels. As we see Big collect themselves up ladder towards top mid. They do have players over on A already. Plopsky, hey there. He's going to get himself a face full of Tizian. Controls the situation, and we get this redirection. Big, they slip into the B site. Because Plopsky pushes, because they're stacked on A, they find themselves a bomb plant. Plopsky's able to get himself back towards the stairs, but dying to Xantera is now that kill right there. Shifts this into the favor of Big. Let's see if they can hang on. Keto and Searson gonna get the job done. 3 kills for Keto and a pistol for Big.
Oh, they put up the stone wall. I thought for sure that retake was going to look good because they had that flank in. Plopsky, he didn't even just walk up the stairs. He went for the outside peak, so he had a few chances to get a kill. Like, imagine he wins his duel on the big flank, then there's only 2 players in the site, 4 coming in, and they could all push in and trade, but Big really hold it down. And that would have been a win, even if they just got the plant. That was already a nice play to get the bomb down. That would have been enough money to put together the buy they want. But now, it'll be Ninjas who have to force some early mid presence as Keto gets a kill. And Plopsky answers back with one of the only good guns so right now for NiP.
This quick pace from Big taking over middle. They're already into the elevator room, and Knock, he can't stop them. Takes a ton of damage as he goes for that second peek. These 3 MAC-10s, man, the speed and the lethality. The Deagle of Rez going to try and spam the scaffolding, but that's not going to work out to his favor whatsoever. We do have a player, though, down on a ramp. It's the new kid, ZTR. Tabson's right in front of him. Going to die out to the Deagle. Now, that's a weapon offered over. Check out the guns here for Ninjas. Actually not that bad. And ZTR's also playing with a kit. One of those moments where you add a quick headshot, you got that man advantage, you continue with the retake. Ninjas could win this. They're going to start applying that pressure inside of the bomb site. Xanteras, that activates him from short. He shuts down any chance they had a second round for Big.
Well, yeah, one more kill would be kind of nice for Plopsky, and he has a Heike, so they want to hunt him. He'll get that. There's a second player coming up outside the yellow. He goes down. Very careful, patient shooting. And Plopsky will die at the end of the day. But hey, 4 kills, man. That's all of the rifles, too. Searson walks away with a measly MAC-10.
Yep.
Not so bad at all. It's one of those situations where, like, who would you rather be? Well, you know, you'd rather be the team who wins the round. But in this situation, just marginally. Very, very good impact here from NiP already. That being said, since they don't save anything, of course, it's not going to be easy to get the kills they want to get again. But here's a situation where the bonus round might be nice. You know, if they don't get a kill, it's a few MAC-10s that they're going to have to work with next round, or they spend a lot on rebuys. Big look to move quickly up into the A site. Tabson will grab a frag on ZTR.
Nice wall bang.
They've got all the police corralling themselves up around the A site waiting.
Smoke inside of the bomb site. Man goes over. Man goes down. Easy bomb plant unless they spam him, and they do tap him up ever so slightly. Tizian really throwing himself at his opponents here this evening. Twice we've seen him fly across the screen, and this time he doesn't die. So 3rd round from Big, keeping more in their hands at the end of that round than the one prior, and this is the information we needed. Strawberries, grapes, pineapples.
Pineapples, yeah. Who took them? Tizian. I thought that was Tizian's computer that they were at.
Mine fruit.
Yeah, mine fruit. Apparently they took him from him.
All right, first gun round opens up with early damage versus knock. Poor guy's tagged to 46. Hell, even Hoppus is dropped to 2/3 HP straight out the gates.
Some pressure on both sides. No plan and no plan needed. A lot of the early rounds, very easy to get to both sides of the map, you know, on your T side, so you have lots of time to work individually. It's very open up the A ramp and very open up the B stairs as well. Lots of ways to take fights, so you know, it's like CTs are encouraged to peek in a number of ways, and for that reason, Ts can kind of sit back and wait for those duels to happen. We see the spams coming down. They're holding on to this boost.
Yeah. It's a good way to pick up an opening kill, and then you fall back right away.
That's a very cool boost.
Keto, though, he's hot on their heels. Sure enough, he's going to get the better of Hoppus and the second. Keto, that is a couple of big pickups. To then have the utility just beyond him. We see Ninjas trying to scramble over. They had the 5 versus 4, but they got chased down. I thought maybe they'd both slink back behind the bomb site, but a little bit of disjointedness. And of course, 2 crucial 1v1s from Keto. He picked up both those kills, only lost 20 HP. This is how he finds the first one. Hoppus clotheslined, and then a heads-up duel that he picks up pretty much free.
Yeah, super nice on Rez as well. And you know, 1-for-1 in either of those situations, then it's a whole different round. But the save comes in for the CTs. And yeah, they'll wait here at the top of the ladder. And I don't think they'll get hunted down, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's all about the entries right there. I mean, those kills help you just destroy the rotations, and it's just about like beating that timing. I'm actually surprised they're able to just chase them up the ramp after the successful boost, but because they get it, of course, they keep the hopes alive. So we got NiP here, staying pretty calm. I think they'll rebuy into this round, try again, and I like that tactic so much. Such an easy boost to copy and paste. But it seems like it's really hard to counter. You know, like you might go and try to pre-fire that one day, but if it only happens once every few rounds, I can see that being very effective and super easy to try again.
Oh, it's a little bit of a different look. Hop is still playing around the shelf, but Rez distracting from short. And it's a counter boost, of course. Big using their vision over smoke. It's Keto to pick up the opening kill. That coming in from the B bomb site.
He's been terrifying, man.
Yeah, Keto's been good lately. You know, we were looking at Searson for consistency, but Keto's been impactful throughout this group. And those are the two names that, you know, start of this 5-man core we weren't looking towards for star potential.
For sure.
Nice to see that all the pieces from Big can succeed. That's what makes these guys a top 5 team. It's what makes them such a challenger, even versus the very best. Frag grenade on sandbags. Hops' smoke can't stop that.
Well, but not a second nade. They're still thinking about it. Okay, that goes down. He'll have to toss that quickly or he's dead. Okay, teammate covers him just in time.
Yeah.
And he actually gets hit.
Oh! Twice!
It's not every day you see a wallbang be successful through the sandbags.
A frag grenade, a Molotov, and then 2 wallbangs. Hoppus.
That takes the edge off.
Yeah. You weren't escaping death today, my friend. 5 versus 3 situation. Ninjas, I don't know. Do you just get out of here? I mean, you've been whittled down.
That's it.
Despite ever getting a fight, Searson finding the headshot versus ZTR, and then when they finally try to escape, Xantares gonna gun one down. Knocked to the wall bang. Dude, did the Ninjas even see their opponents?
Yeah, the entire time it was basically shooting through things to kill their opponents. I guess here's the first kill. He's like half blind. Instant punish on Plopsky. And I was wondering, actually, was this through the ground? Because I don't think if you wallbang with the NiP even directly through the sandbags, you can do any damage.
He's got to be hitting the little wooden pallet.
So that's pretty cool. You got to love that.
The Achilles heel of that A setup.
It's awesome.
Damn, and then all of a sudden, not only is it Big on fire with a 5-0 start, but you've got Ninjas not in the best of buys. Although they are going to get a 5v4. A little bit of tempered aggression from Plopsky on the top of the B stairs. Seeking revenge from the previous round where he was the opening kill. Xantares is going to walk out middle. And there's nobody here to hold him. Eventually, we could see the elevator players maybe come back to mid to peak, but it is just knock on a deagle, and I don't think he expected Xantares to be so far up. So Xantares immediately goes one better, goes deeper. And it's more dangerous, but again, he's going to catch Hoppus off guard.
Oh, man.
Nicely done here from Xantares, just unraveling them from the inside.
This is why he was the star of Space Soldiers, because he is just creating so much of it. His team can now freely kind of pick whatever site they want to go to. ZTR on this wild goose chase to try to catch Xantares, and is successful. Will also scoop up an AK, but will then follow to get punished by Tizian, and that's the round over. And all you have to do is follow Xantares that round to see how it all falls apart.
Yep. Given his chance to walk out mid, you know, we saw Big rotate in the 5v4, or excuse me, Ninjas. They got their kill towards the B site. One of those B players goes down to pick up the weapon in Plopsky. The other one goes all the way over towards A. Doubles back from elevator, but it was Xantares who kind of slipped beyond construction in that middle moment of timing.
It is really cool that at least one thing that's happened more and more often is teams are starting to try to go for mid. It's been more common in defaults to like try to use mid as much as possible for that rotation. Okay. But before we talk more about that, we've got Searson to pick up Rez on the A site, and he's looking to make it a double as well, and the patience will pay off. Can it be 3? It can, in the head of Hampus. And that's the A site cracked, honestly, like an egg, so easily, just at the hands of Searson alone. And how many rounds so far has it been that one player has won the entire round for Big?
This is a horrifying form from Big, and I mean that in the very best of ways. Unless you're cheering for the Ninjas. I mean, this is already a 7-0 lead on the T side.
I was thinking they were going to be a bit tired from the last game, but as we can see, they're just warmed up. That's all that happened.
They're not just warmed up, man. They are on fire.
They're preheated. Yeah, they're in the they are on fire. Very much. That is cool to see. Now the question, it was, you know, we had to wonder where Ninjas would, like, how comfortable they'd be on Vertigo. It's a map they played, but ZTR himself has not really had a good time on Vertigo, at least from his games, but ZTR's stats are only worth so much because, you know, how could you predict the performance versus Astralis, like those two maps, and none of his stats pointed in that direction anyway. So we were holding our breath to see how Vertigo would do. And not exactly sure if NiP are all that concerned. I don't know how much stock they put into winning this map in the first place, but we'll see. We've got Threat getting very involved here. Don't play scared. Just wide swing, slap him up, break.
That's your chance to talk it over. Again, these rounds have been racked up so quickly that it's about time you take a pause.
Yeah, it kind of feels
you
like
can't let this just keep sliding, man. We're genuinely in free fall mode at the moment.
It is. It does feel like maybe we're cursing the games, right? Because this is what happened to OG versus Astralis the other day, where like they didn't stand a chance. It's like one play, like Device 3K entry into B, Magisk 2K entry. Here, I mean, there's only so much you can talk about when it comes to strategy. They've done a couple of cool things, and then one dude like Xantares, Keto, it makes some enormous play. So I would honestly just say something along the lines of like, be more careful, guys.
Yeah.
Just for a bit.
Be more careful and
sometimes in the scrims.
Get some damn kills, maybe.
Get some kills?
Get some kills, Knock.
Sure. Yeah.
Knock has 0, Hampus 1, Rez 1.
Yeah, I mean, you got to frag. It is actually an underrated part of CS. Not talked about enough. Gotta kill people. In the video game.
Gotta do what you gotta do. We'll leave it at that. Spam shots through smoke. Not gonna find their targets. But even their targets might not find much because the Ninjas here in the 8th round with nothing but Desert Eagles. They're gonna try to take a bit of a fight down ramp, and sure enough, Tapson takes some damage, but it's Xantares and Searson with opening kills, a 5 versus 3 already. So let's hope that whatever Threat had to say also applies to the next round.
Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of like, oh, took a pause and then you save, and then you go, just remember the game plan. Sometimes it'll change during this round before we get to the next rifle. But here they're just looking to do that damage if possible.
Nice boost.
Opportunity for the Deagle. Yeah. Nets a kill. Plopsky gets one too.
Yep. That one's going elsewhere, but it's the A site that crumbles. Tabson gets in on ZTR and Knock. You thought for a second, maybe there's a chance there. 3 versus 3 made back. And there's an AK here in the hands of Plopsky. He's got himself a second.
He's been good.
He's been fantastic, but he's going to have to be godlike if he wants to finish this one because he's got 19 health and no kit. Comes in quick, making a ton of sound. Keto just hones in on the headshot and will give Big their 8th.
Yeah, just stays slightly at a distance the whole time. And, you know, getting close is nice, but, you know, it's bigger problems here for NiP. So, yeah, avoiding B might be first step. We've seen Plopsky get a couple of MP9 kills over on the B site to open things up. It just hasn't been enough. There hasn't been enough outside of that.
Boom.
Here's a good attempt. Yeah, a little bit rough that the closest that they've come so far is on the ecos.
It's like watching Astralis.
Yeah, right.
Up in middle.
Just earlier. Wow,
Opens up.
Came around fast and wide there.
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, Big kind of feeling the flow. Rocking with the motion of the ocean. But a bit of commotion here towards middle. Has a couple of dropped op shots. Definitely could have extended the Ninjas' control. Already in the 5 versus 4, ZTR is going to take this forward position. He's being kept in by Tabson. Yeah, the headshot's there for him.
Oh, man.
An opening kill turned back the other way. Tabson with another double entry on the A site.
They really risk it with that one.
Last round, it was him who went big in the 3v3. This time, it's in the 4 versus 5. Keto takes to the sandbags, and Hampus is going to get that incendiary damage stretched to the feet, enough to drop him down. 3v3 ensues. Tabson barely left alive after his 2 kills, so somebody else is going to have to do the heavy lifting. And Tizian, he just threw bomb, and in that moment gets peeked.
Damn.
So good thing Tabson keeps going. A 3rd frag, despite low health. Now he's kind of primed Xantares to take over the reins, but Plopsky again gonna attack from the flank, as he did last round. Xantares gets that quick trade at a 1 versus 1. Knock goes up in Dover, the Opper's now known, but he hits it through the smoke to get the Ninjas on the board.
Yeah, he pulls him through. Knock knows, and that's one of those situations where like, okay, that's pretty cool that he does that. Xantares could have had the play right there. If he ran through at that moment, you know, maybe there's a chance he pulls something out. But this round's still sloppy at best for Ninjas, right? Like, here is a weird situation where they go for the lower A-ramp control. The only problem with going for lower A-ramp control, from my perspective, is that there aren't really good spots to hold it from. We've seen sometimes that players boost up on the big box, and they're like, oh, that's like a cool spot. You boost up on the big box, and then you wait there. But you can just hard clear it. There's no other angles you have to worry about, so I think it's kind of hard to hold from down there. But either way, weird. Yeah, 8-1. And what is going on here?
A bit awkward, but Hop is still able to slip behind Searson. Switches to the AWP. That's when Xanteras gets him. Dude, we've got some really nitty-gritty trade kills in these last couple of rounds. Rez, MP9, all he's hanging on to, and he drops as Xanteras gets his second this round. That's going to recall Knock from middle all the way over to the A site, where, of course, Big have still kept themselves clumped. But there's a chance for Plopsky to either get a kill or get punished. He's flanking down beneath for the third consecutive round.
Get the rare Xanteras op on this round, and they've got a lot of grenades to work with. The execute is oncoming.
ZTR is going to get activated, tries to go forward. Keto seems to be on high alert. And Knock on the high boxes has to fall back.
That was the one tactic they had going for them, and it didn't work out, so they have to fall away. Tizian here to try to catch him on his way out, but Knock will be happy to fight for sure. Well, that's another round done with. I mean, you gotta appreciate Biggs moving with tempo. Like, up the ramp, they're one step ahead on this push. It's a little bit awkward here as Hampus tries to make a play, but he kind of sloppily gets out, when maybe it would have been better to see if how many players you can try to fight. You know, because there's an opportunity where Xanteras follows him through the smoke. If he had watched it or stayed there.
Considering how sloppy and messy that moment was, you'd think you'd just kind of forego the thought of changing weapons.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, maybe if that was a clean immediate kill, you've got that 2-second period. But when you realize you've slipped through on someone who's already slipped beyond, man, you got to be on high guard.
Yeah, the way that they're thinking about Big and how they're approaching is like, doesn't seem to be correct, at least. Like, from what we're seeing, Big are always somehow one step ahead, or even Big are taking a normal risk, but then NiP are always somehow caught out of position a little bit. Like, anything that they're doing is working out a little bit too well, I guess is the best way to describe it. So yeah, for NiP, I mean, it's not an easy game. That's for sure. Okay, what happens now? We've got still call it the chaos drop. Why not? From Hampus on the B side. It'll be heard, and it won't be tested. It's already a 5v4 here for the T's. It's hard right angle here for Hampus. And, unfortunately for him, he'll have to drop the smoke, which alerts his opponents of his position.
Yeah, and
of course, he can't really fall back.
There's nowhere to go, man.
Yeah.
You got to pick your poison.
That's tough.
And whether he decided to do it or not, down he goes. Sent soaring.
They're just getting called out, really. Like, they heard him drop, then they just waited, then they just mollied.
Yep.
And then they just sprayed him down. And 5v4 becomes 5v3.
This is nuts. 9-1. 5 versus 3 again. No matter where we see the Ninjas try to take the initiative, Hampus has been thrown down A ramp. He's now been thrown down B stairs. Plopsky's gone for active flanks. The one place we really haven't seen the Ninjas kind of assault is top mid. If anything, that's where they let Xanteras slip through. That's where they let Tizian get by. And Keto's just going to walk into the A site as if he owns the place. Pops the head off ZTR. Xanteras challenging through smoke. Dude, they cannot lose a duel at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the health they're left over with.
They're like...
they're just getting by.
They're like Metal Mario.
Yeah, it's unstoppable.
That's cool.
And a little bit faster. 9-round lead. A 10-round T side already secured here from Big. Of course, this is the first best of 3 that we've seen from the Ninjas here at Blast Spring Groups that didn't include Overpass as the opening map. It's still in the series, but it's not where we begin. And my God, is there being, a different precedent set.
Yeah, with a lot of faltering in the top 3 and just inconsistency. Na'Vi potentially being the most consistent recent team now. Astralis and Na'Vi, or Astralis and Vitality struggling a little bit. It opens up, a room for Big to kind of fill in. And they have been quite good and also have those important wins to add to it. Now, got a mid push coming out, split towards A versus just pistols. But they're still not going to forget about their flank. They get all the kills, and now it's still a 3v3, but it's only rotators down below.
Yeah, it's the fluidity of Big Clan here. Even when they lose another B fight at the hands of Plopsky, who needs to be given some credit. He is 14-8 with his next teammate at 4 frags. And there it is, Big just shutting down the Ninjas in another 3v3. But the moment they lose a fight on one front, they just hit the accelerator, run through middle, hit the A site from behind, and unravel the rest of the setup. Plopsky's been solid, but the rest of this team looking like liquid.
Sometimes it's easier to call when you lose a couple of rounds. You can actually change things up. But like, what do you do when everything's working? Just more of the same? Or how can you even come up with brand new strategies? Big have learned nothing this game. It's been such an easy road to 11. And it looks like the road has not ended. There's a situation here where it might be one of NiP's last buys. But they haven't started out with anything different just yet. Searson, playing with fire whether he realizes it or not. But the shots aren't coming in his direction.
No, and the second smoke goes.
Oh my god. Look how precarious this angle is. It's just so fine. All the way back to Henny.
They boost up on B, down goes Plopsky. And that's been like your one key to early success for the Ninjas. And now they see him.
My god.
Rez trying to play behind the tarp.
That was like Deer Hunter, basically.
Maybe Hampus can hit him from... God, that spot just makes me anxious. He's on the other side of the railing.
Oh my god.
It's so difficult to get out from here that you just got to commit, and hell, if you're hitting shots, just keep going, buddy. He gets himself 2 frags before Searson takes his head off to keep that man advantage for Big, at which point, again, in the flow state, they just transition to the other side of the map and run away from the Ninjas. Tomfoolery to get themselves onto this B site. It's going to be a 12th round unless Ninjas retake at a man disadvantage. And that incendiary that comes over to hit construction...
Love that.
Cuts them off, and it delays just long enough for Searson to peek as they turn. They're like, oh, we can go, and instead they're gone.
Fight him.
Searson, Deagle out, op ahead, challenging around it, and he just rails them. 12 T rounds.
This is
to
fun.
1.
It's fun to watch. Okay, everyone picked the Strawless, and then there was me, who picked NiP. But it's still fun to watch. This is some good stuff. I mean, it's kind of sucks for NiP, but genuinely, every round's been pretty insane from Big, for one reason or another. The multi-fragging, the rotations, the coordination, the ferocity, the tempo. Loving every second of it.
Deagles. Ooh, nice flashbang. Come on. A little life. You gotta fight for a more respectable scoreline.
I think they've survived 2 5v4s already this half. Of course. Off shot missed and dropped. That's it.
Yeah.
And now they're... Oh, no, sorry. Plopsky still has it. That's something. Plopsky's got 3 or 4 opening kills. And I don't think they've won any of the rounds that he has them.
Dude, he's actually tied with Tabson and Searson for most frags in the server.
Oh, wow. Wow, 15 kills. Wow, that's crazy.
In a piece.
13 rounds in. All right, one of the final attacks potentially of the half.
Come on, Plopsky.
They'll try to put up the stone wall defense here.
It's a lot to ask, but he's going to have to go above and beyond.
Too many smokes to do anything.
Yeah, and Keto's going to get away with the plant. So just this little Bermuda triangle of smoke grenades. Another one goes up on top of it. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows where it's going. Odds are it's already in the back pocket of Big. AI does not like the Ninja's odds, but let's see if Plopsky can hit him with something special.
Most kills now.
Yeah. He's going to have to maybe pick them all up. They go ahead and smoke off bomb. Hey, there we have it. Oh, Plopsky, 4 kills. Come on, buddy, get the ace. Oh, he's down. Tizian gets wrecked by Knock, but there's still no time.
1 round to go, and we've got... This is almost historic. Plopsky actually has... is this like the most kills that the other team, like a player on the other team can have with only having 1 round?
Top frag in the server. 18 kills, 1 round win.
And lots of impactful kills. Some of them were like exits that almost ended up being an ace.
Clutches, yeah, the 1v3
but
attempts
then
from
lots
behind.
of opening MP9 kills over on B, winning his first duel very consistently, and they're almost putting together the op ace.
Ooh, that's a little... Oh, no, he was seen.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tizian just got the sliver of information.
Yikes.
And that sliver, now an infected wound. Because poor ninjas, I mean, they're already getting battered and bruised. See if it goes from bad to worse. Flash downwards, that's what they need. Rez and ZTR with a couple kills apiece. Or rather, a couple kills between them.
Have we any progress on any part of the map? No, they're still all joined together down below, surveilling their options. Plopsky here, preparing to defend B once again. Do they dare run into him? Again, it's no secret he's been playing well and plays B. But it's 2 versus 1 here.
And Rez gets the edge. Can they double their round count? Plopsky's gotten aggressive, combat opping. In the most narrow of corridors. Pressure being applied up A ramp. Hampus gets a kill over Tizian. Searson in the clutch. Now we saw him clutch crucial rounds yesterday, but he walks right into Plopsky, and that still doesn't stop him. A deagle to the teeth. And Searson's just gonna run over to the B site. It's Rez who definitely set up this round with his 2K from the A site, but we're gonna close on a 1v1. He's gonna go for that construction Molotov. Rez is already beyond it. Searson misses his deagle, and Rez will get that second round win. But does it matter? Well, you'll have to join us after the break to find out.
You're following me?
Yeah, follow you now. Okay, shortcuts, huh?
You're following me?
Okay, you duck all the way. Yeah.
I have no idea. This is okay. Oh, okay.
No, you can't jump on here. That's stupid. You did it already? Oh my god, bro. I'm too fat for these small stakes. Yes.
Well, that was quite something. 13-2 in the opening half of Big versus Ninjas. Seems like Overpass was a good place for the Ninjas to start their BO3s. Vertigo, not so much.
That was very decisive. Very, very decisive. There were very few questions, at least for Big. We got kind of everybody had like a star roll at some point. Positioning looked good. Yeah, I mean, this is their game to lose. It wasn't a very close 13-2 half, if there ever was one. Santeris, he'll get spotted on the side, taps in, takes a headshot, and okay, Ninjas, not a bad start here on the pistol. Pretty much one of their best starts of any round we saw coming out of half number 1. But can they actually close?
Well, they've got 3 guys challenging middle. And Searson's going to get overwhelmed. He's got a teammate, though, and that's Tizian picking up the pieces. 3 USP headshots in mid, and Plopsky, the star for the Ninjas in the first half, has a chance to clutch 14 rounds to 2.
I'm happy for the Ninjas because it's just they can go on to the next map.
Sure.
They can just go on to the next map. They don't have to pretend like this game will go on for a while.
Yeah.
Dude, it's one thing if, like, Tizian misses 10, 15 shots and then gets all 3 kills, but he didn't really give him a chance. I mean, they tried to trade.
Yeah.
His spacing was pretty good. He only missed, like, a shot or 2 on each guy. They just kind of whiffed, and he just destroyed them. And we haven't even really talked about Tizian yet. He's only kind of 3rd down the list in terms of stars here for Big. So, at least they save some stamina. Potentially.
Smoke in. Flash the other way. A little bit of a challenge here from Big, looking to just kind of hammer the nail into the coffin.
Okay.
And maybe Xanteras walks away. Don't offer them anything other than that first kill. Keto, not going to waste any time. Starts flanking down underneath. He was caught in the pistol round, actually, as the opening frag. So we'll see if that unfolds again. Plopsky going to challenge the bomb site, but Searson, like a whack-a-mole, pops up, and he can fight back, but Hampus takes his head off. Xanteras is right in the same position, so easy trade frag off of that, and the more they slow down this offensive, the closer Keto gets. Sure enough, cutting down the bomb carrier, smoke on top of it, but they don't anticipate Tabson, I don't think.
Another flanker. How dare they?
How dare you? Rez, Deagle out. Let's see it. Come on, knock their socks off. Gets that challenge on the bomb site. Smoke grenade fades. He's just working around the side of it, and sure enough, never sees it coming. 15 rounds to 2.
I'm happy for them. It's nice and quick. They don't win the eco that will drag on to 8 rounds and then a loss. They can forget about this. Never happened. Potentially in this next round. They'll try to invest again because they don't have any other choice. You have something to say about carrots?
No. Don't worry about it.
You did just have carrots in your hand.
Yeah. I'm on the edge of making a joke, but I think I might get in trouble, so I won't.
Okay. Tell me after, I'll tweet it.
Okay. For now, we've got to see if Ninjas... I mean, here's the silver lining, man.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Plopsky in map 2, you know, with maybe a better team behind him.
I'm just looking forward to map 2. Because I'm not going to try to sell you guys...
It's a good map, though.
You know,
I mean, for one team, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch.
It was really cool to see the pace being set by Big.
It was good, yeah.
You know, I think, like, Big, sometimes they can definitely just comfortably sit back and kind of play proper. But, dude, here on Vertigo, it's like they knew this was going to happen from the beginning.
Yeah.
Even when they would meet a bit of resilience from Ninjas, when Plopsky would find that success down the B ramp, Big already had a procedure in place, man. Step by step, they've taken this one. You know, hit them one way, they just slip through the cracks and they're on a bomb site in a matter of seconds. So that lightning quick tempo, that's something we all have to celebrate. And well, Big will definitely be celebrating because they have smashed the Ninjas in pajamas. 16-2.
I'm getting paid too much today. That was a quick one.
Woo. Damn, man.
Congratulations.
That is impressive stuff. That's the kind of Big that definitely beats Astralis. And this is the kind of Big that I thought maybe we'd get when we had them matching up versus NiP the first time. It was just 24 hours ago.
It was just, a day ago. very fun. This big storyline. It's getting even more interesting. Thought 2020 was the end of it? No. 2021 has more to show.
Damn. I'm at a loss for words. So let's just go ahead and throw this one away. We'll see you guys soon enough for the second map, which is Overpass.
You guys done already?
Yeah, dude.
Hurry up. Last one?
Yeah.
You guys done already?
Yeah, dude.
Hurry up. I'm done also. I'm not the worst. Me and Santeros are equally bad.
Yeah, so bad.
The score. Oh, yeah. Oh my god. 8 minutes.
Epic Santar is clutching it. Yeah. Okay, I finished now. Oh, finally.
Oof. Close.
Finally.
GG Santeros, it was easy. Thank you for the game.
So worse.
That was hard.
Thank you for the game.
Well, as you can see from the look on their faces, NiP didn't miss much, and neither did you if you didn't catch that game, because it was a quick 16-2 for Big. But the positive sign here for the Ninjas, that at least they're still laughing about it, because they're probably thinking, well, we didn't have too much time to prepare a map like Vertigo. Your question's been answered, Maniac. And currently they don't know what's going on in it, because Big just run a train on them.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to circle back to the map discussion and pretty much accept the fact that NiP will not be ready on 6 maps, and Big found a way to punish them. They were outmatched, outclassed in pretty much every single department of the game. It's one of these matches where we can stand here and just say, yeah, Big were better, and it's a flat analysis, but at the same time, it's just the flat situation.
Yeah, it is a situation that sometimes we're dealt where you go, there's not really much to analyze in this game. Plopsky did his best effort of fighting back to some degree at least, right? You can look at the positives. But my main positive is going to be the resilience we keep talking about with these Ninjas here, because Big were supposed to win. It was their map pick. They are the 4th best team in the world, and they showed us why.
They showed us right. They were by far the better team here. There are a couple of stats you can pinpoint if you want to try to find reasoning in the fact that Big Clan were better than NiP and NiP weren't ready to play Vertigo. Opening duels went 9-9. They shared that 9-9. So NiP, they won a couple of duels in the beginning of the round. The problem is if you're playing a map like Vertigo and you don't know what to do from that point onwards, even though you're up 5 against 4, you don't really know what to do. You don't know how to capitalize of all the opening kills you're getting. So despite that being a close stat line, despite that being even 9-9, you still ended up losing 16-2. So it doesn't really help you in any way. Big, by far, as Matthew said, were the better team here. It can be a little bit flat analysis, but sometimes you just got to give credit where credit is due. Big didn't break a sweat at all.
Now, you like the mental side of things here, Maniac. How do you view those faces we saw of the NiP players? Do you see this as a positive sign now going into the second map? A quick brush off with this coming into it?
But I think it wouldn't make sense if they were not already on Vertigo. It doesn't make sense for them to be enraged right now and frustrated, right? Why does it change the situation? No, it does not. Just move on, focus on to Overpass. If anything, they didn't really spend any mental energy on that one. They try and fight. They probably knew and they probably saw it come in that the Vertigo pick would be coming in. They try and put their best effort forward. Didn't work out. Move on, move to Overpass now. With the Overpass being the second map, you have a shot at a third. You've beaten them already. You pulled an immense comeback against them on that very map. So focus on that.
We can't focus on one player. There's one player we can bring up and say that was a positive sign. I think you mentioned his name in Plopsky. He had the highest AD on the server, right? He was doing a good job trying, at the very least, to make it competitive, or at least trying to build NiP into some of the rounds. When you have good individual performance in a big loss, it doesn't really give you anything in terms of, let's say like team satisfaction, whatever, you don't really care whether or not Plopsky is playing a good game. But for him coming into Overpass, having a success right here, being able to produce the highest ADR on the server, producing 19 frags in a game where you were out of it, where you had no chance of winning whatsoever, that's going to spear some confidence into him. So if I were the viewer out there, and if I'm an NiP fan, look ahead for the next map and see how he's going to come into that one. Because Plopsky, as we talked about, he could be the second star for NiP.
Now, this time around, though, we're going on to Overpass, which we know is NiP's pick. It's their go-to with this lineup. It was not easy for them last time against Big, by no means, but they did come back into it from a massive deficit. Do we think that they can really push the limits this time again?
Yeah, I think so, and precisely because of how they actually beat Big on Overpass. Just a refresher, and if the people at home hadn't seen that, Big won both pistol rounds. Big had amazing starts in both of these halves on Overpass. Big had everything they needed to close it, and yet NiP were able to fight back. They were able to fight back from a financial deficit against the momentum and finding solutions and even winning in overtime. To me, that tells me that profoundly, deeply rooted in it, they know how to play Overpass. They can find the solutions. Now, Jacob talks about Plopsky, good player on Vertigo, moving on to Overpass. That's a good sign, and I agree. I'll flip the coin and say, last time around, Rez was a god. Rez found about 77 million opening kills last time, and he was very quiet. So if you're looking for comparison, you have to see who was shining when they beat Big and who isn't right now.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Rez was insane. He was involved in 19 opening duels, winning 12 of those, and that's my problem for NiP coming into this one. I don't think Rez can replicate such a performance. That was fantastic. Okay. That was really, really well played by Rez. And also, we have to flip the coin again and say, yeah, Big, they were up 15-8. They should have closed out Overpass. It could have been a 16-8, it could have been a 16-9, and we would be making the analysis that, yeah, Big, they were the better team. NiP never really got into the game. They couldn't win a pistol round, yada, yada, yada. Game over. So if you're a Big fan right now, you must feel very, very comfortable. Whereas if you're NiP, it's looking dire, right? It's looking rough for them to replicate the same performance, replicate the same comeback they all once made. For me and my taste, I think we need to see something new coming out of NiP. And it could be Nog, stepping it up. He didn't have a great Vertigo, but as you said, he's the star player of NiP right now.
He is the star player, and the star player needs to do what a star player does best. But this is Sirison now, who on back-to-back games has come into his own. He is feeling it. He is feeling oh so comfortable, no matter what weapon you put in his hand.
Yeah, he's feeling it. His impact is kind of immense right now. We can see it on house screen. 21 kills to the 8 death. 128 ADR, albeit with the AWP as well, which is kind of crazy. Usually you see AWPs riding on a low ADR. Just to touch on this Nog versus Sirison topic, which is an interesting theme. Last time around on Overpass, Nog bested him 6 times out of 10 duels. So it was a slight advantage for Nog. Very, very shy at that. Not a big one, but I think it's going to be a win condition. You need to see Nog shutting him down a little bit because Sirison and the way he's been playing the past 3 or 4 maps, he's a beast right now.
And the other thing, right, we haven't really spoke about this, but Big is a new partner team. We only got to see him towards the end of Blast last season. They're the new partner team to come in and come with this kind of firepower, come with this huge, would be incredible for him.
I think Big is going to be a team we have to look out for in 21. Like, there's no doubt about it. They're currently number 4 in the world. They beat Astralis today. They're playing some solid Counter-Strike, and I think the foundation has been laid for these 5 players. There's a good support cast around Big as well. They're always sitting at the boot camp, new facilities, an organization that believe in the project. There's a lot of stuff going on for Big. Not to forget the German scene as well. They don't have a lot of teams to support. They don't have a lot of players to support. So all the supporters, when it comes to German Counter-Strike, goes in towards Big. There's a lot of stuff going for them right now, and I think, as I said a couple of times already, when you see a team like Big putting in so much work, putting in such a work ethic over such a long period, over time you will succeed. And I think we're starting to see that, consistent period of Big Clan, as you see in the screen right here, where they're up there with the very best, not only for 1 or 2 events, but they're going to be there for the future as well.
And for the sake of Counter-Strike, I agree with you. Anders told them, or rather spoke at them as nerdy players. And he said it in a very good way, in a very positive way. And I want to use that spin, right? Big is the kind of team that's going to find new tricky ways to play the map, right? Double nade stack. I have that moment in Vertigo. Poor Dupree gets double naded from the stairs. They have the one-way smoke in Vertigo as well. Yep. That's the kind of team that's going to put in the hours and the effort to develop a few tricks here and there, and just Counter-Strike evolves, because you see it, and then you better be sure everyone in face is going to do it in 2 weeks.
It's the DNA, right? The historical context to that is, you remember the major when they played Inferno 3 times in a major format. They found, a weird way and a different way, let's put it that way, to take banana control. And everyone was, doesn't he? Yeah, I'm trying my best here, right? They exploited something on banana, and let's be honest, right? That was the main reason why they qualified into the players of a major. But as you said, they are a bunch of nerds, but in a good way. They're doing a good job with it. They're constantly coming up with these gimmicky plays, but that's part of the DNA with Big Clan. You have to work hard if you're playing in Big, otherwise you won't be good, otherwise you won't be a top 5 team, and that's why I respect them so much.
Yeah, one of the hardest working teams we have, and they like to push the limits and the boundaries. I like to take a look at these odds, and okay, they just got served when it came to Vertigo. Even though it's NiP's map pick, this is still not looking any better, and you can't really be surprised.
No, you have to respect it. You have to accept it. We said Big have to make a statement. Moving into this game, we talked about pressure. I personally didn't see any pressure on Big at all. They just played very relaxed. They were laughing before the beginning of the game. For them, as far as Big is concerned, we said it. We just integrated them as partner team in Blast. This is a big step in order to establish them as a solid top team. They used to be top 1 at the time. They're fighting, they're staying. Jacob said they're consistent at the top level. It's part of their evolution now. They come in, they play the Blast Spring Series, they destroy everyone, they get that number 1 spot, and they move on to the finals. Job done for Big. They're very relaxed right now.
They are very relaxed right now, but they won't be relaxed when we get in that server. They're going to want to show full force coming the way of NiP and get the revenge from the overpass of old. It's time for us to kick it to a break for potentially one last time, because when we come back, we're seeing what will happen between NiP and Big again on overpass.
Hello, gamers. Welcome back to the casting desk. We're about to jump into the second map, Overpass, between Big and NiP. And the Betway odds obviously very much in the favor of Big for the time being, and I think they should be after the stomping that we just witnessed on Vertigo.
Yeah, at least you get Overpass for NiP, which should be a stronger map. And not surprised Big won the map, just much more in the fashion that they won it, but ZTR, he was a top performer versus Astralis on Overpass, and Overpass is a great map for Astralis, so I think NiP would be pretty excited to play this. And they showed a lot of resilience. Peter from HLTV pointed out that in I think the 4 maps that they won, they had to come back in almost all of them. You know, they actually were down and then showed a lot of resilience, which was really cool for a team that doesn't have that much experience playing together. New logo, new fifth. So let's see if they can repeat on Overpass, or if the honeymoon period kind of slows down a little bit, where Big now have some data. They are going to be more prepared for ZTR. Maybe they're ready. We'll see. We shall see.
That we shall. USP taps coming out of Keto.
Okay, let's go map 3 maybe.
Map 3 maybe. Killer Keto. 2 USPS headshots down long. Another kill comes in from Tizian. Will the ninjas answer back? I don't want to watch another 16-2.
I do. I'm down.
16-2?
It'd be an interesting thing to talk about, honestly, but... Okay, but Plopsky, this is another storyline, right? It is. Oh, he was so... Oh, my God, he's insane.
Yes,
he actually tweeted out, nobody likes a Vertigo, about 15 minutes ago, after he got 120 ADR and top fragged in the first half when his team only got 1 round. But it's good to see he's transcended the map.
Yeah. He's been waiting to get unleashed.
That couldn't have been more stacked against him. They were all hunting downstairs with 3 pushing and a player in bathrooms. He killed them all.
Welcome to map 2.
Cool.
Things are very interesting. That's what they needed. Absolutely proof that Plopsky's going to maybe transition from that first map here into the second. Let's see it. I am all aboard. But of course, they will have to get through the Scout and Deagles of Big, who have already completely foregone the bathrooms, leaving all of that to be taken by the ninjas. Little miss flash, whatever. Not going to cost them here as they take over the top of A. Will Searson pack a punch, though? Smoke goes down deep. He'll be boosted above it. Ooh-wee. And he gets caught by Hampus, who just crouches down fast enough. Tabson also then with the scope up. But the moment that first kill comes through, the ninjas flood the bomb site, and they're going to take away this second round. I would be so happy to see the ninjas play with a tempo and a pace and a level of aggression that we got from Big on their map pick. I said I didn't want to see a 16-2, but I'm all for it if it's the ninjas in the driver's seat.
I'm down either way. I'm open. You think if Searson had a better scout skin, would have got that shot? Or
you'd think for a guy who is like known for his scouting,
that's the troll, right?
He'd be beyond the blue spruce.
That's the thing. I think that's what makes it funny to him. It's like a liege with just his name tagging, all his default guns.
Yeah.
Stat track AK, stat track M4A4.
Yeah, and he never got old to a liege. It's not like he stopped after 3.
He laughs every day.
He did it
wakes up,
to everything.
Looks through his inventory and chuckles.
Oops.
Okay.
Xantera's not laughing.
Okay. I'll take that extra kill.
2-0 start. Ninjas keep themselves in a controlled environment in that last round, making sure that they just moved up as a team. Again, killing Searson first and foremost, and then flooding the A site to take away that second. Now there's even less for Big to work with, especially because Xantera's dies. But they do have smoke, so maybe they slow things down and get lucky. We'll see.
We are just pistols establishing for short. This helps Hampus out and pushing. Make sure he doesn't have to worry about reloading when watching his back at the store with Plopsky here. Locking it down, middle of the map. There is a mid on Overpass, but honestly, the real mid is stairs. It connects the rotations. It opens things up for the T's. And so far, Ninjas have established well. They'll also get this kill with Plopsky on a force player with no armor or anything. But that's one threat removed. And we'll see when they commit.
Yo.
Okay. Kill goes back. Searson always does get some crazy USB kills versus armored players. It's happened more than a few times so far. One thing I wanted to ask about the logo. Maybe, you know, NiP social media or something could clear up. So I can't see the NiP in the logo. I think I see a P, and then the rest looks like scrambled eggs. There's definitely a couple letters, but I know one is missing. Well, I think I see the I and the P, but I can't find the N.
You know, I thought they had just given up on that. I didn't realize there's supposed to be an NiP in there.
But you see the P, right?
No.
Upside down? Turn the other way. In the top left corner there, P. And there's a bunch of things that could be the I, but I don't know
what's happening.
Where the N would be. No, this round is definitely over.
I know, but they're dying.
Okay.
There's costs to be had. I like the fact that on, say, HLTV, we've got like the all black logo with this new model of it.
Yeah.
When the RMR stickers came out, we had like the brown and black color scheme with the new logo. That was then changed to be this
limey
lettuce color.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Production. But yeah, you see
where
the
are
P?
we?
Wow, that's a really cool shot.
Dude.
Are we on land? This feels like a land. That was a land thing that just happened.
That was pretty nifty. I thought they were just going to like highlight the NiP. I thought we were going full detective mode with that one. Clearly.
You can't find the N, though.
Not yet.
I mean, you couldn't even find the P, so you're useless. But... All right, let's see what happens now. This round, full buy-up. Way NiP play T-side overpass. They spread the map. They chill. They wait to punish mistakes. But the mistakes sometimes come. The CTs here are here to fight. Tizian drops a spray. In fact, doesn't hit a single bullet. Memphis gets away clean and will continue forward to do more damage to the top of the stairs, denying so much map control and potential for a refrag. But look who's on the scent. Xantares. He's pushed up on short, and he'll die to long as well.
Dude, they're just slicing through this B site like it's nobody's business.
Like a ninja star.
A shuriken?
Like their logo.
They fall away from it. This is going to be a 16-2, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
It's definitely not going to be a 16-2. If it is going to be a 16-2, I'll give you my suit.
I want all
not
of
this
you.
One. Don't look at my red suit. I'm not giving you a red suit.
Well, which one?
I'll pick.
I mean, half of the time you're wearing Pimp's clothes anyways.
No, he was wearing mine, actually. He was wearing this one.
I'm going to keep you honest with that one. 3 guys survived for big. First gun round didn't go too well. The ninjas coming out hot. So clearly that, how do we eloquently put this?
Okay.
Smothering, smashing, stomping, whatever that was on Vertigo.
Yeah.
It didn't break the ninjas in pajamas. It was just Vertigo.
Yeah, it's just Vertigo.
As they, as Plopsy said, no one likes Vertigo anyways.
Yeah.
According to Plopsy.
I mean, they wanted to play it for a bit, yeah.
It's not my words, but his.
Apparently, it's not a democracy over there.
And suddenly we're back into the map, of course, that the ninjas have over top of Big this week, have over top of Astralis this week, and are currently leading in a strong 4-0 fashion. But because they didn't bottom out Big, they've got guns against them again. Here in round 5, Tabson's going to take to the top of Fountain. Hampus challenging inside short. Again, the opening kill comes in from NiP, but there is a trade. Xantares straight away. Establishing the 4v4 and looking to lurk back into the bomb site. They're right there on him. But he concedes the short water as Big keep themselves split 2-2 per site.
It's quiet, it's patient. This is the part of the round you're looking for tactics. We've got the re-aggression here on short for the 2 CTs. You know, they could look for a boost. Oh, Rez could get punished up the top of the stairs, yeah, off that boost.
Ooh, but Plopsky.
Instant 3v3.
And Tizian, he's not going to find anything. So from the 4v3 to the 2v3. Tabson and Keto are going to have to get the job done. They could boost here next to Graffiti. Would give them vision onto Plopsky, perhaps. But first, they're going to take down the man in water. Smoke grenade goes to block off short. It's an even 2v2, health considered. And Plopsky, well, now he's down. So here we have it, Big working. Despite that disadvantage, ZTR, let's see your clutch. He's going to get himself back behind the sandbag, sprays onto the bomb diffuser. Tabson's going to try his hand, down to 2 seconds. Deagle's out, ZTR's got it, and the Ninjas are on fire.
That's nice from ZTR. What a clutch played by him. Perfect lineup through the smoke. How many times do you see someone line that up and not hit the bullets? That is so nice, and they're doing a good job. These last 2 rounds, they kind of done the same thing, getting into the B side and winning that unanswered entry on whoever's trying to play around the pillar. No refrag there, and refragging wasn't a problem for Big last map, so this is something they've got to be worried about. And this is NiP style so far. No surprises with the way that they're playing overpass. This is what they like to do. I think when it looks bad, I've made the joke that it's like Fnatic without the pushing, which is, what's the point at that point? And that's sometimes what it feels like with NiP's T side. But ZTR coming into their T side, he's usually the guy just holding B, like putting pressure there. Hampus will randomly push short B or randomly push something and be that forward aggressive kind of like IGL scout. But he's been very good at getting the entries here. He's actually been coming out of long B to try to fight. Now he has a clutch to his name as well.
And it's still early. 5 rounds deep, all of them belonging to NiP. As does Connector here in the 6th. Plopsky not going to shy away from that smoke grenade, throws himself through it, and finds nothing. Big have already evacuated middle, kind of falling back towards bathrooms. Looking to lean on Searson's op, but he misses his shot as he eats the flash and just shoots a bit of a Hail Mary. But we do have a little bit of an expedition here from Big. Gonna go clear out the opposing side of Monster, and that info could allow for them to justify the 3-man A stack.
Wow. They are all basically kissing each other on the other side of the smoke, whether they realize it or not. Now this map is very open for the CT side. The boost comes in. Oh, they get the guy behind Searson, which is an interesting problem to have. It's kind of like, who would you rather lose at this point? But Searson finds a kill. Yep. He is able to get away, and that gop smoke comes down on Divider. You can see over top of it. They flash, but it's empty, and they don't go forward with the attack just so far.
30 seconds. More utility coming over. Searson, he knows he's in a bit of a hot spot. He's going to have to deliver. Smoke now fades, and Plopsky gets the better of it. Tabson going to be peeled between 2 spots. And he gets rocked by Rez. Man advantage from the Ninjas. And Big, they're going to scramble back up into the bomb site, see if they can maybe stop it. Bomb plant here on truck. Plopsky's got his gun back out. Xantares flank up from Connector, denied. And they've done it yet again.
No way. They actually had this 1 extra kill on the site. They never get that refrag when they need to enter the site. That one guy just always goes down right after us. 4v3.
It's been Tabson twice.
Yeah, Tabson twice. And it's been 4v3. Searson just stood his ground in the perfect way. That was a super sick play by Plopsky to wait in the dissipating smoke to get the advantage, the small advantage on Searson. This is kind of just what they needed, basically. Searson was not prepared for it at all. And then here's that extra trade. And Rez is really low, right? So that's the player that they needed to take down. Yeah, so it's kind of the same problem, I guess, where they just need to frag a bit better in that spot.
6-0. Looking like a 7th. Just pistols here for Big. Man, these T-sides been hot tonight. This one's kind of quiet. We've got 1 player close to Long and Keto. Gonna look away from the flash, but can't deliver the kill. Now Big will have to contemplate rotating and stacking the A site, maybe pushing for that confirmation. Either way, they know there's a massive disadvantage, and Searson's going to try to stick the P250. The 2 guys coming down long. Oh, that's awkward timing. Hampus kind of like reloads while he's flashed. And another CT flashbang comes in. They're going to try to control long here. Ooh, they've got the bomb kind of wrapped as well, with Big throwing bodies up onto the A site. A deep corner position from tabseN doesn't deliver, but that's the kill they definitely need. Xantares moves in, grabs an AK.
And the bomb's alone, and they put so much pressure that he knows he could just push up.
Oh, and he gets a really swift headshot, turns back for it. Xantares with another, and it's all on Plopsky. Xantares, 4 kills, and Big is on the board.
The Terminator. That was so insane how clinical he came through in the bathrooms. Actually understood exactly where they all were and how to fight them. Very awkward round with what happened at long at first here. So I guess we can relive this for a second. This is beautiful. I mean, he even runs away, makes them come forward, has them drop their guard, and then out-duels them. But yeah, Hampus, he was like peeking, and then I think he might have accidentally hit reload.
Yep.
I'm not exact. I don't even know why he needed to reload at that point, but
early damage for Big.
It's one way to give up a first round.
tabseN kind of burning, but he still slips beyond Plopsky, who thought maybe he'd be a bit higher back.
He doesn't have support above, does he? Oh, searson's here, actually.
Off the flash, tabseN's going to try to dodge, but he gets caught throwing grenades. And searsonn doesn't see a target to take down, but check out the HP. Oh, and he's scoped in, so Hampus comes out from connector. Easy pickup. Man advantage for the Ninjas. Tizian's going to activate. If he doesn't clear close, he's done for. And a 4v2 for the Ninjas.
That's ZTR, and this is where he can sometimes turn into the entry out towards Monster if they meet up with him. He has had so much success already. Now the rotations, there's one player in B, and they know it's B. So this could be interesting depending on what Xantares can do, but the double peek is just perfect. They had no chance for him to actually get back into the round. Damage is pretty good, but 1v3 from Keto is pretty unlikely with this position known.
Yeah, and he's smoked off. Does have some utility to throw if he wants to take a chance, but then again, you've also got to realize Big kind of need this equipment for the next one, so he's going to walk away from this. Ninja's right back to winning ways. Let's unfold that one. tabseN very much on his own inside of connector.
He's looked
Gets
a little
caught by knock.
He looked a little bit lost on this map. So like typically, you know, you take action in stairs, and searsonn is trying to help you rotate out. Then tabseN thinks he just has more time. He's also not aware of what searson's watching, so he kind of just hangs out. In fact, he invites the duel by throwing a nade into balloons, where he could have been able to run out, and searsonn would have caught the guy who tried to peek him afterwards. And that's not the first time that tabseN has looked a little bit uncomfortable on this map. I think you mentioned on the site holds.
Twice by Xbox. And those were all the very, very important refrag where, like, teammate made a play and he just needed the one more refrag and then they don't get it. And there's not even a chance for the retake because of it. See if the Ninjas get right back on fire. Whether Big can force this back and forth to unfold. Of course, searsonn still swinging the op aggressively out towards Party, and we've seen great early utility damage actually for Big, but Ninjas just weather the storm. Check this out, they've already walked out from Monster. Oh, and Xantares, he's gonna turn his back. That is unfortunate timing. Keto's gonna get killed, Xantares can't deliver, Plopsky's got himself a double, and while Tizian comes in with 2 killers, that is nice. To get that headshot on Hampus and fall back into the water, that could save the round.
This is a weird spot. Bomb is dropped back. They can go and collect it. We've got 1 player on the A, that's searsonn, but 2 are out towards short. They can hold here. It's a great place to defend from, but they don't have info CT, and okay, Tizian dies in short as well. So the question is, do they know about tabseN? Yeah, they didn't. Rez is not really. He's watching for the top of stairs, which is some info for tabseN that they don't have anyone up there. So now we'll hear them running back as well. Yeah, this gets even more interesting. Will he go up? He's going to hear both pairs of footsteps as well. ZTR is watching this. See on that mini-map. He is making sure to think about the potential for a flank. And
yep, catch it. Oh, no.
The damage is there, though. searsonn, look, he's here waiting at long. This is a hard one to get out of. They need to kill tabseN.
Yep.
But tabseN doesn't realize that they will come back and try to fight him.
But he's ready for it when they do peek. Knock dropping bomb. ZTR is going to have to shoot him in the back of the head and then sprint for a bomb site. He does not have time to wait for tabseN to peek right now. There's no way ZTR can win this, and tabseN's right beneath him, so that's an easy pickup. But simply no time on the clock. Tabson, very cool play, gets into connector, catches Rez with his head turned, and then, of course, gets that information towards T-Spawn, recognizes that he has a chance if he sprints to cut them off long, and even when that doesn't get the kill, either Searson was going to cut them off, or what we saw happened. Tabson winning another duel, slowing things down enough for time to lend a helping hand and give Big their second. But Tizian, dude, that second frag onto Hampus, he can't believe it.
Yeah, what is he supposed to do? That was a really beautiful spray transfer. Very nuanced. Just kind of had to like let it go off to the right. Cool stuff. And that keeps him alive. Ninjas though, they get the space on the monster walkouts very often, so it's very promising for them. Hampus will take some damage now, and Big will double down on trying to make sure that they can't get out early, but right after, no, I mean, maybe they don't. They were out there by the half wall, but then immediately went off to short control again, and Ninjas just walk out again.
And this time, we don't have Keto back by Graffiti, so it is on Tizian to hold this off, and they're like, damn it. They've done it again, guys.
Kisses. How they figured it out?
Gonna get a boost. No, there's nobody here.
Oh, okay.
They're actually wrapping around Monster, and look at this, Knock. He's gonna line him up, but Tabson, that's a big pickup, and despite the damage, it's 2 kills the way of Big. Hampus will punish. ZTR kind of stuck between them. There's also a terrorist up on A site coming down. There are flanks upon flanks. ZTR surviving the damage. Rez could kill Keto. Ooh, he gets there and doesn't take damage, in fact. So this is still a very winnable situation, but they're going to have to claw themselves back into their own side of Monster.
It's another who would you rather be situation with a bomb back and spawn. I mean, Searson's got such a strong line here.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to move. It's his teammates that have to do all the work. And they can't come up from short and surprise him either. Oh, he gets a flash! ZTR has him full blinded. Now Tabson on the cross, low HP. He gets the first, and ZTR is the one who's low, who dodged the bullets miraculously on the last round. There's no time to rocket back to A, and Tabson knows this.
Yep. Tabson's just going to sit inside of the sights. Whoever hits the first bullet, and Tabson on high alert. ZTR walks around unprepared with a smoke in his hand. And we've got Big Clan with a 3rd round win.
That's some beautiful stuff. It was a nice tactic to try to get back into the round, getting Searson blind with that flash from ZTR.
I didn't see that coming.
Such a strong position, too. Very, very nicely done from ZTR, and also surviving in heaven, but it's not quite enough, and another close situation just goes slightly the way of Big. I mean, that really looked like a deathmatch more than a CS round at a certain point, with the amount of flanks that were happening. It was kind of fun to watch that play out nonetheless. Still, overall, like, half is still strong for NiP, and it's really funny how they're getting all these monster walkouts, but another 5v4 here for Big.
Starting to play around with a bit of an aggressive tempo. Two guys close long.
Yeah.
Rez could have his hands full, or I was gonna say, or they line up, but Searson smacking him with the MP9.
Oh, they're gonna let him leave too.
Yep. Double man advantage here for Big. Definitely looking like they can string some rounds together and make something of this CT half. But.
And man, they actually, so that round came so close, they're like forced onto these MP9s. So it was an opportunity here for Ninjas to screw their money over, but Searson, oh, he sneaks into a tricky position. Is it going to be, it'll be cleared, but it doesn't matter, man. Instant headshot or 2 as he takes that player out, and he's going to make it a multi. What a sequence here from Searson. Beautiful stuff.
Ace.
Little hot sauce on that ace. And
Nicely
never a
done.
reaction. No expressions from Searson. Cold as ice.
I am ace. Here's the first one off of Party, then comes back at it on long. Dude, just stuffing him with the MP9 up close and personal. Plopsky had the best chance, did substantial damage, and with 19 HP, he 180s for the kill to ZTR. And that first bullet headshot.
Pins him to the wall.
Ooh-wee.
Posterized.
Very nice ace. And like you said, in a round where they were forced onto the MP9s, economy's kind of, you know, that guillotine above their head. Still a huge chance for Ninjas to take a commandeering lead had they got that last one. Now it's looking like Big could still finish with an edge. Frag grenade thrown by Keto. Almost kills Knock in entirety. And Tabson, well, he's just going to knock him down as they try to get up through the short side of things. Pistols, of course, for the Ninjas. Not an ideal position for this round. They get chewed up, spat out, and slapped back as Big take their 5th.
Well, at least we've got something of a competitive match with both Teams having some really great rounds to look back on. I like that the game plan towards, whoa, is this, wow, Plopsky's ADR following up with his 120. 163, really? And such a close scoreline. Pretty unbelievable stuff. He's having a hell of a day, even though he hasn't won the map. That last map didn't even come close, actually. Oh, man, don't waste this hyper carry from Plopsky. It's been outstanding.
Searson on the op, not sure where to look, but they just got out from playground.
If only he knew. But he'll wrap long. He's going to push up. He's got a teammate rotating in to support him. So he's getting up close, which it's a scary situation for him. He's going to see this, but he does have the angle. Smoke getting lined up, and a trade should come out. No one's peeking.
Oh my goodness,
Wow,
he had a
they
chance
really
of
gave
taking
him
that
a chance.
headshot. And now it's the man from the corner who could have delivered, but Plopsky gets the better of Tabson.
Can't believe how much respect they gave to Searson while his op was on cycle.
Yep. Tizian, he's going to get the kill to Hampus, who just dropped a man off bomb site. Still an edge here for the Ninjas. Xanteras and Tizian. Xanteras, well, he's still got a full belt of utility here to try and lock this down. There's plenty of time for the Ninjas to leave if they choose to. Tizian doubles back to bank. Now A's open.
Yeah, they just push him out, but he'll rotate it into Optimus. Double peek ensues. Plant will go down. Unlikely
Xanteras
1v3 for Xanteras.
is going to have to save this one. So the Ninjas squeezing into the A site.
Yeah, that's another situation where, you know, I don't want to blame Tabson quite as much for this one because I would say the kill was 50-50 as opposed to like very favored towards him, where they definitely peeked him with like deliberately, but he just didn't win his duel. If he won it there, held on to long, then, you know, we could talk about a round win, but he's already had his fair share of cool plays this round and a couple of clutches, and he's also top fragging for the team, so he's just been in the middle of a lot of the action so far.
A lot of it going down on the A site. Couple of rounds inside of Connector on his own.
It's been a pretty entertaining half so far. And still a couple rounds to go. Don't know where it'll take us. But NiP, they went for the quintuple monster walkout strategy into more just standard lay of the land default up into the A site. A couple of rounds here. Let's see if they go back to what they were doing before. Hampus hasn't pushed short B in a minute, and they haven't tried to go for that like late to mid-round walkout out of Monster either. Big will call attack timeout as we come to the nearing of the half. And CT side is where we see kill records get set. Okay, the config is set as kill record. The kill record on this map with like a 27 kill CT side half back on Optic. And then quite recently, we had Yakinder.
Yeah.
With a 25 kill, I think, CT half.
That was a crazy
That was like the second. That was also Overpass. And it's just a map that has a lot of freedom on the CT side and a lot of onus to push and look for info, which makes it a great map to op on. So far, Searson just had pretty good impact. Nothing extraordinary. But, you know, when we talk about attack pause on the CT side, I start to think about where, you know, Searson's going to try to open things up or how he's going to play.
Right now he's going to sit passively in the bathrooms. And the Ninjas creeping in on long. Plopsky, the front runner on this long play and also top of the scoreboard for NiP. 15-7 as he peeks Searson in bathrooms and goes down. Bomb carrier tries to give chase there. ZTR. Second place for Ninjas, by the way, has found an equalizing kill. But Tabson's not going to shy away from peeking around the smoke. He's got the support of Searson, who has eyes inside of bathrooms. ZTR had a chance at a second this round, but instead he gets dropped. And we've got a 4v2 man advantage for Big. Woo! Hot peek. But Knock can't quite hit it.
One tucked on the left as well. Tizian all the way around. The only opening here is stairs, but Ninjas don't know it.
Rez can kill Searson, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Oh! He dodges the hog shots. But they're wary of the possibility of that CT flank. Sure enough, they've got Tizian coming in from T-spawn. If Tabson dies alone here in bathroom, oh, this could be awful, but Naki doesn't hard clear it. Nicely done by Tabson, slips in at the perfect moment and takes the player down, then follows up with damage, and of course, Big can close those. So 6 rounds to 8, and one more for the T side of the Ninjas.
Yeah, so many just mid-round situations. And it's, Searson has set the pace for the round. Seeing so much info, how they're walking up to long and they don't want to telegraph it, that just says a lot, right? If you're trying to be that inconspicuous that you're willing to take a risk to go for information, then that means that, there's probably more than one person there because you were hoping that no one would be watching. But since they don't get away with that, CTs are still all around. They do a good job of making sure that no more forward progress can be made. And this duel will happen versus the boost. But of course, Keto in the headshot position avoids that spray of Hampus, stays alive, gets a kill, doesn't even take a point of damage, actually.
Ooh, he almost looked up at where the shots were coming from, but Searson...
Oh, he doesn't scare easy.
Nah, he stays focused, gets the pick he wants, and sure enough, this round starts to crumble. NiP in the 1v5 to close out their T side. Now, this is a T side that started off, of course, with a 6-round spree. And the tail of the tape with Overpass was like how often they'd have to make comebacks happen in order to win this. Well, it was Big that got the machine started a little bit later. And it could still be, as close as can be. A 7-8 half favoring the Ninjas. 6 of those rounds at the very start. Who's going to kick off the second with a pistol? We'll find out after the break.
Kind of looks like Tetris or like Lego.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody, to keep it safe.
Device actually uses the print stream, so print stream by far.
The print stream, one of the best recently added collections when it comes to Counter-Strike skins.
Definitely the print stream. I really like ugly skins also. I would go for this one.
Print stream actually glows much more than that on the top part. Yeah, print stream.
I'll go with the print stream because in game it just looks even better.
Okay, I'm not gonna say the name.
The Emerald Jörmungandr, or however the hell you pronounce it, is way prettier than Golden Koi.
The Emerald Jörmungandr, or however you say it. That skin as well looks very good in game with the shaders on.
Yeah, I'll pick the Emerald. I think it just because it's a pistol, the color itself doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna take the Golden Koi because I don't know how to pronounce the upper one.
Because I'm always going with the greens, it's gonna be the Emerald Jormungandr.
No, these are very alike.
They're so similar. Sunset Storm, Sunset Storm.
Is there a difference?
These are identical.
Yeah, I think I've read something about it that they changed the skin.
What's the difference? Well, if you check out the handle, there's a hidden face. So for that little bit of an Easter egg, I'm gonna choose the Sunset Storm.
Yeah, let's take the bottom one. I would go for the Sunset Storm.
So Sunset Storm, obviously, since there's only one Sunset Storm.
Yeah, I'll pick the Sunset Storm, just randomly. I think the bottom one, I guess.
I mean, I'll go with the bottom one.
The Urban DDPAT, I really like this one. It looks like, what, Minecraft, I guess?
But this is pretty easy for me. I'll go with the top one. I don't really like the Urban DD-Pat. It's kind of like Lego. You just like build your own deagle with Legos.
The Directive, better than a DD-Pat, let's be real.
The Urban DD-Pat is like the ugliest skin I've ever seen, probably, so Directive.
Yeah, no, I'll pick the Directive.
Midnight Storm also looks cool because of the decent blue, but no, I would go for the more punchy one, which is the Cobalt Disruption.
I'm gonna slip in with the Cobalt Disruption.
I'll go with the Midnight Storm though. I quite like also the bit original color.
But I'll go with the Midnight Storm here. I mean, now that I look at it, the Cobalt Disruption actually looks a little bit like the Minecraft one.
I mean, this one's easy, right? The Cobalt Disruption, baby, I'm home.
Hands down, the classico of all Desert Eagle skins, it's gotta be the Blaze.
Good, I'm taking the Blaze.
Blaze, by far. It's actually kind of gorgeous.
There it is. The Blaze is just too iconic in the game.
Obviously, I'll go with Blaze. Like the flames going from the barrel, it's just like you headshot someone and the flames go off.
The pent-up aggression from a whooping on Vertigo gave Ninjas that 6-round spree to kick off this second map. their map choice, and the map that they've won over Astralis and Big in these last 2 days. So, will they close on the CT side, or is Searson's slick movement at the start of this pistol going to give Big the jump start they need?
He beat the timing. They're going to have no idea that he could walk upstairs this quickly. Watch as I steal.
And he walks back. Bless you, bless you. Bless you. Santeris, he's kind of locked in a playground duel. A battle of the bullies. Ooh, and Hoppus is going to get the better of him. Tabson comes off the bomb plant with a headshot onto Plopsky.
Wow.
P250 on the T side for pistol rounds. It is delicious. He's also got the Kevlar to work with, and Hoppus, he gets wrecked as he walks down from connector. Now this is a very strong post plant. They just need to focus forward. Tabson confirming he sees all three, but he can't quite get those headshots. Searson's got the control of short side. There is a kit on CTR, but he's been taken down. A 1 versus 2 attempt from Knock with a fresh magazine. Crucial kill, but timing's the issue, and the smoke spam from Searson gives Big the second pistol.
A little bit of ZTR in that clutch. Through the smoke. Short side, nice try. Tabson! I feel like he's got to cool off a bit. So we're going to put all those peaks. He's like asking to die there, right?
But he's got the armor P250. He is the raid boss. Beats his chest.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Plus, I think once you get that headshot coming off of bomb plant, you feel the fire.
God mode. That's probably true. Well, they still win. They got it. They tie up. They force the force. Bad smoke in bathrooms. Knock open lines. Free shot for him.
Good damage.
Oh, they didn't throw that. They knew that was going to happen. Okay. Just a nice angle there from Knock. I like this. Sped it up to the point of bathrooms, slowed it down a little bit. Got significant control, so now they can kind of be meticulous, and there was no forward aggression here from the CT side. Floating out in the open, though. Here is Rez. It's an interesting place to be. There's not going to really be any flashes that come high and over the bathrooms, I think, just yet. So maybe Tizian is going to prime something. They've got a boost to work with, and this is where Rez can potentially come in.
3 guys damaged by the Scout of Knock. Now it's onto the pistols, and look, those are working out wonderfully as well. A peek off of Prime. Keto can't kill him. Xanteres is trying to dig them out of an awful spot. Tizian, he has full HP, but he's got 3 CTs ahead. And now he's down to half. 30 seconds into the 1v1. And ZTR with the Deagle closes for the Ninja.
Another clutch for ZTR. You know, it's a 1v1 at that denies a 1v3, but still. He puts it together, Tizian. Nice attempt there. Because a good read on how the rotation will come around the box on default. But all that damage from Knock just adds up to the point that... yeah, it's like critical mass. The pistols are so much stronger there with everyone tagged by a scout. Did he get a 2-for-1 on long, or just three separate scout shots?
3 separate shots.
Wow. Leave it to Knock. I mean, this was the map that when I watched a demo on him, this is one I was most impressed by, but he's had a really rough map so far. Only 3 and 13 at the moment. But again, CT side is really where the outstanding habs come for Oppers on this map.
Oh.
Ooh. He's very much in this.
I didn't see it, but I could feel it.
Yeah.
Eagle damage. Rez dead. Ooh, this is recoverable. Tabson gets a headshot. Hoppus gets called into the gunfight. And he can walk away. Let's see it, Tabson. He finds a bit of damage. Maybe Tizian can slip into the A site. It is being held by Knock.
Yeah, this is all about Knock. They know Hampus is there. They're waiting to find out if there's someone else that they can see.
Ooh, dink.
Yeah, he doesn't get the damage off. And they kill Hampus. Now they're looking for the rotator, and Knock will get another.
Oh, Tizian!
Fire, that's beautiful. And the clutch, that's nasty. That's revenge.
As much HP as he had enemies to take down, man. 3 health at the end of that clutch. This is all Tizian. Getting the frag versus Rez. Clean execution onto Hampus after he had gotten by Knock's scout. Sees the shadow. That duel right there. Very nicely done by Tizian. To take back momentum after losing to the force of NiP.
That's so well played. And it just looked equally as well played that last round. Just didn't end up winning the round. but massive damage here to the economy on top of winning the round. And that puts Ninjas on a force, actually a force all the way down. The UMP full nades.
Okay, back and forth this show's gonna go. I'm all for it.
Yeah, shades of a straw is big from earlier. The amount of ecos and stuff.
Tons of utility being thrown out here. Tizian again with that Galil looking to lead the charge this time, but he gets damage down to 12 HP. See if his teammates can bail him out of trouble. Hoppus with his hands on a Mac 10. Wrecked by Searson. Bomb drop by Knock. Low health for him. And he's got... Oh, wait, Tizian! He just died in the Molotov down in water. Now we're in a 2v2. The Heaven player's got damage. Oh, Keto. He saves the day. And Searson finds the last one.
Right. If they weren't aware of Heaven, then, of course, there's a chance that that falls apart.
We're getting
Tizian,
wild.
I mean, he actually gets the 1G. Like, for the one time that in Twitch chat they spam 1G.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I got it.
This is
oh, wait. No, that's...
What?
Nope. Somebody call Valve.
Holy hell. Was that really from the...
Flag on the play.
How... Wait, what? It spread... Did it touch and spread that high, or was that literally just because the smoke was too hot?
That might be it. Hot air rises.
It seems so high.
Nah, man, that's a bunch of baloney. Wow. That is an unfair kill.
Oh my god. What's happening? What bomb is there?
Pistol kills? The bombs being given over?
They can't rotate. There's guys on top.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's barrage and nades.
I'm...
What are they gonna go, plants? You have to go get the bomb, guy.
Last two CTs down here, low HP. This is gonna be recovered by Big. Man, we are getting weird. We are getting really weird. I still feel bad for Tizian. But I guess we'll let that one go.
Well, yeah, he got his glory and they won the round, so it's all good. But yeah, that's
man.
crazy.
Guys bouncing off the ceiling. There's knives out. This frag grenade, I think, really does it.
Man.
Oh, okay.
It was too brutal. Couldn't watch it again.
Okay. We're back into the normal realm. We've got a proper gun round on
honestly,
our hands.
Look at it. They force too much. It's taken out of this full buy. They don't have much utility to work with.
Oh, they got the opening kill. We'll see if that lack of utility comes back to bite them. Hompus going to challenge. He lines him up. And Tabson's going to get the kill right back. It's a bit of a health advantage here for the Ninjas. But again, we talk about that lack of grenades. What's the longevity of this round for them?
Well, 2 and B with a focus on Monster. Oh, they're in a pretty good spot, the Ninjas, but it doesn't seem like Big have made a decision yet. They've got Tizian pushed all the way up to the end of A. And, you know, if he gets a kill and they get too much information, they could easily rock this back. But, of course, Knock could also get his frag. And we'll see what happens. Oh, such a tense moment on both sides.
CTR challenges. Ooh, that guy had 46 HP. Tabson could have been the casualty. Instead, it's Tizian to die upstairs. Plopsky, 1 versus 2 inside of the site. He almost has it. We've got ourselves a 1v1. And Knock's coming in pretty quick. Smoke goes down in sight. Knock silently sneaking forward here. Xantera is thinking it's Heaven, but instead we've got Knock getting all the closer. He encroaches to the left, and Xantera is going to get blindsided right about now. That's all she wrote. Ninjas double digits thanks to the 1v1.
So sure that he'd be up top. Yeah, that's a precarious spot. But I would like to say, you know, you don't specific, like, if you think that you're going to eat out of your future buy when you force up, you should never, you know, invest that much. They not only did not have the op, but not a single person had full utility. I don't even think more than 1 or 2 grenades. So, you know, important not to lose, especially to things like economy, like totally preventable. Some of the other stuff, like heroic plays in the middle of a round and stuff, you can't really account for, but just doing the math when you can is important. So Big lose a potentially a very important round. You know, 11 to 10. Such a close game here on Overpass. NiP just looking for map 3.
It's crazy, dude. Both of the Ninjas rounds so far, the 2 they've won on CT side, both by way of 1vx. They are hanging in, but
yeah, they're
by a thread.
Their money, it's low, but the same can be said here for Big.
Somebody's back's gonna break off of this one. Tizian's smoked out of the equation. We've got Big grouping up on Monster.
Oof.
Got a player on barrels to deal with, and that's a swift execution. 2 kills for Xantares, looking for revenge after losing that clutch. Hampus able to hold the line for a single kill, but Keto's got that trade frag, and it's Big Clan with their teeth deep in this B site.
Oh, they got to think about whether or not they want to go for this. They don't have money. As you just pointed out, this is not a clear-cut situation here for NiP. And it's a 2-on-4 situation. This might already be over because of Xantares' entries. And Rez, we see him backpedaling and spawn, just trying to prey on the exits. And hey, the exits might mean a lot here for NiP. In this spot, getting economic damage, Big not being able to buy everything they need next round. Powers up not only the 2 rifles they have here, but the pistols as well. Oh, but Searson somehow, he opts his Rez in an angle that doesn't even exist.
Pulls it out of the sky. We've got Nox surviving, but a 12th round for Big.
Oof. Okay, that could have been important. I mean, I didn't expect Rez to die. That's not the last of the things. I thought either they don't run into him or he gets a kill, but I didn't expect him to die. So beautiful from Xantares. You see, he doesn't freak out at all. Like, doesn't pull his crosshair down too much at all. You know, doesn't instant crouch. He's just such a professional when it comes to that AK. That is a pretty tragic round here. Because now NiP, after this B hit, was so successful, don't have money, saved 1 gun. And I think had between $50 and $100 on a couple of players, if that. So I think it's going to be, it couldn't be more clear actually to Big how much money they have. And they have to make a decision as to how much they spend here and if they're going to just straight up force into it. But if they do force, it's one of the situations that might be a little bit more difficult to judge just because of the loss bonus. But we've got Big winning, you know, 3 of the 4 last rounds as well, so. Looks like they won't invest here at all. And maybe they will have enough here on this following round, 13 to stop 14.
It's not Nox to go massive. It's going to be Big with the 13th. The T side with, you know, a couple of missed rounds, but oof, really just missed chances. The 1vX is all that's kept the Ninjas in this. So far, so good in the 23rd. Couple of casualties as they tried to boost bodies over the wood. They see another man inside a connector. Oh, but Hampus gets him as he's jumping. The P250 goes back the other way.
You got to be clutching your purse here if you're Big, okay? You don't really need to hunt these players down. You've already won the rounds. Getting the damage in is cool, but you know, you're really worried about your own economy as well.
It's not a purse, it's a satchel.
A satchel, sure. Clutching the satchel. Oh! That was a boogeyman peak. Okay, that's why the Xantares peak Steam group is so popular.
Is it?
Right there.
I thought you were just in the Honda peak.
I'm only in the
Steam
Honda
group.
peak, yeah.
Okay.
Personally, but...
Well, Xantares.
Xantares peak, I mean, that's the Steam group to be in.
Oh, wait, is it the guy on site who gets spammed? No, okay. This camera angle made me feel like they were going to get all 3 for some reason. God damn. Just a little reminder. Let them know who's boss. Xantares, are you seeing this? And the round comes live with, of course, a full buy. The best utility we've seen from the Ninjas on their defensive half. Let's see what it's got in store for us. They go 4 guys to the B site early. 2 to pry on Monster, and a couple more inside of the site.
Oof, significant control. The double Monster setup is interesting, but oh, it opens up Hampus. He's so unaware of the fact that this could come in, and oh my god, what is happening? Knock with the 2K, spray down 1 and back pit. Bomb will have to retreat slightly, and Rez has the opportunity to swing this back in the CT favor, and it is 3 peaks that it takes, but ultimately he gets away, and now he's moved forward. They're gonna think he left, but they still find the trade 2-on-2, and I think I'd rather be the T's. They're now encroaching on the A site, and rotators are very uncomfortable.
Tizian's just gonna lock down that dumpster peak. Bomb carrier onto the plant. Gonna hit it for bathrooms. No utility for the T's. And just the flashes after that frag. Good softening damage. Excellent flash. tabseN white for a moment. And now he spots that player coming out from bank, so they understand there's no flank here. Focus forward. He sees the weapon coming outward. CTs, they've got that health advantage, and they've got themselves the round. A 4-man B setup was absolutely critical because not only does searsson pick one from heaven, and then Xantares counters out that monster peak on the right side, but because of Knock coming up from water, that is why the Ninjas survived this one. And then Rez. Rez winning that duel on party, staying alive just enough, primes them for the 2v2.
Every little bit here, yeah. Without Knock, I mean, this round is done. Like, it is a complete rip. So at least for them, I mean, I guess because, you know, 4 out of 5 rounds won, they only had to save 1 round off of that. Thought it was going to be a double save situation, so it wasn't the worst situation in the world for NiP, and they're still within 2. They keep it close. Big Clan are still pretty good economically. NiP quite low here. And searsson will punish. Been good here on T side. As ZTR out of the rounds. A tactic stopped in its tracks for NiP. And the defense is weakened in a spot where it feels like this game is so close. Every little bit matters. This has been a really, really great game to watch so far. Maybe my favorite map so far in the group. This nade will... Oh, the double... Oh my god, this could be so potent.
Blow him to smithereens.
See how deep it goes.
Ooh, it's Hampus who gets wrecked by it. And Knock hits the op shot. 4v4. 3 bodies on this B site for the Ninjas. They've got the defense to hold this off, but oh no, Plopsky, he eats a flashbang, and Xantares blind gets Hampus. That has to hurt. Let's see it, Knock. He was crucial in the last round, and he plucks another player from the sky, jumps to the top of the box, gets pressured from short, and that is where he falls. Tizian shuts him down.
This high-octane moment. Xantares is a super soldier, man. These 2K entries out of Monster. And Rez was trying to work his way back in. He even baits the shot out from Tizian. It's a 2-on-1 situation, but ultimately searsson closes. This is Xantares all day and night. Look at these 2 kills after searsson, this opening tactic. They go for the monster push. As you talked about with last round, they overstaffed on the B site, and he adjusts to kill the second guy off of game sense alone. No other tells, and really trusts his spray there. You know, it's that old, I guess, like almost a sports adage of, you know, Jordan practicing the free throw with his eyes closed to the point that he always hits it. Just really trusts his spray control, doesn't crouch, doesn't panic. It's right on the money. It's as if that flash, all that did was allow him to react faster. And that brings Big to 14.
Yeah, and it smashes the cache of Ninjas. Knock gets wrecked by a frag grenade to kick off the round, but there's Rez. He finds himself 2 kills, and when they're only working with 2 weapons, that is a big pickup. Bomb dropped at his feet as well, and Knock's working beyond him. So as long as those pistol players go uncontested on the B site, I mean, there's definitely a chance for Knock and Rez to shut this down. But you'd think, of course, that the utility for the peaks, the top of the stairs, they shouldn't just be walking into this blind. Should be the counter-terrorists blind. Rez remains tucked. Tizian sees the scout, but do they know? They line up. Rez gets them. 4 kills. He's doing everything. And as searsson walks around this final corner, it could be Rez with the ace. No. Not today. searsson almost hits that flick. He's got the cover. He's got the second kill. searsson misses. ZTR doesn't. And the Ninjas keep this going.
Yeah, I don't have enough adrenaline for all this action. That is so insane. You love to see how patient Rez is on that shooting. Almost, from his perspective, to watch the round fall apart right before his eyes as searsson puts up an insane counterattack here. The op shot to kill him, plus nearly grabbing 2. It's just beautiful how he doesn't even turn that into a spray transfer. It's just 2 separate bursts. And they chuckle because of how close it comes. They've seen searsson win that a million times. They almost gave him enough space. And ZTR, you know, he'll take a breath of relief here as Ninjas stay alive.
And what's really fun about that round win is now the economic struggle shifts back the other way. It's Big in an uncomfortable spot with Ninjas nipping at their heels. Still just trailing by 2 rounds. It feels like they've always been there. Kind of sprinkling in these sporadic round wins to stay on their trail. Timeouts being called, conversations being had, and the final buys coming through.
We've got the very clear top frag here from Syrison at 26 and 15. And he'll keep the op into this round as well. Grab another one, I should say. And there's significant weapons here that is very, very scary for NiP. I think most of the important things do. NiP have everything they want, or ZTR are going to have a concession. He hasn't spent the rest of his cash, but he's sitting on a deagle at the moment. Well, we're out into this round. Gun will be picked up. Falmus and an MP9. An impoverished T side, but led by an op. And they go through with the boost at the beginning of the round. I don't know if it got spotted on the jump spot. They might have seen him up there. And Syrison wouldn't have known. A chance. Oh, is it coming? Oh, wow.
Nah. They give it up.
Yeah, they're going to forfeit it. Heavy stack here from NiP inside the B site, waiting for the attack to come, which is inevitable. We see the train of T's start to pile into the station as they prepare the nades to come through with another potentially successful monster attack. This is what NiP are afraid of, and for good reason. Lobsky, he'll spot him. This activates them. They entry. It's Tabson up front.
And he's doing a great job. 23 kills after that one. Can't manage a second. Plopsky and Hoppus able to stop that initial threat, stop that initial aggression. 45 seconds, they head back to spawn and look to go elsewhere. But now, unfortunately for Big, they're dealing with the same problem the Ninjas did. They've got no info as to whether this has been pushed, whether this has been prodded.
They got no grenades here to work with, 30 seconds left, and they make the Hail Mary rotation, which means they won't have time to play this carefully. They're throwing the running grenades here. They've just got to hope that NiP assume they're coming back.
And it's just Rez in the corner. Oh, he looks away from the flash, gets the crosshair back, double kill, and a third. Again, back-to-back impactful rounds from Rez.
He's been so reliable as the A player with whatever rifle that he has, whether it's the Falmus, an MP9, an M4. And this got testy for a moment. That opening kill, and Zentaris, for the first time, dies without an entry, getting into the B site. But Rez looks super sharp. NiP's hopes stay alive, and that's all of the money gone for Big. So now they have no choice but to save. Running through a molly here. Just an upgraded gun or two. And Rez up on 2 and off. Two offs on A, actually.
Yeah, you're not getting by this, man. Not without flashbangs. Not without any firepower to bust back. They've also got this deep water control, so the snipers are going to be on high alert. Not to mention Hoppus now just getting a little flirtatious with mid.
This might not be a situation where Big have enough to fortify themselves next round.
You're getting cut down. No footing for Big here in the 28th round. That is the Ninjas tying this game at 14 rounds apiece.
Yeah, no, it's we'll see what happens. I think it might be another freebie here with only the potential, realistically, for OT for Big.
Oh, they're buying.
But you never know. Are they gonna?
Yeah, they're coming in hot.
Oh, okay, so they're just not using an op, but they have a rifle. They're low on grenades. Of course, on the T side, it's your round to play. So depending on how they started out, they might not need that many if they're careful. But yeah, they are risking it now. And NiP are going for the opening pick at mid. They don't spot here Knock, but he does sense danger. He'll fall back. A smoke in the bathrooms to stop. And they got the early rotation. The 4 players stacked up over on B. Big have just decided to walk up. And listen, there are 2 ops in play. So this gets a little bit scary for the CTs if they give up too much control too quickly. And execute could be very strong, and they've got the cover of bathrooms at the moment.
Oh, Keto! Oh, he just peeks and takes them both!
This one's for 15. There are 3 CTs on rotation, and it's no secret to Big that they're over at B. That's it. They literally just walked up and activated Keto. Just like Xanteris coming out of Monster. It's Keto on the other side of the map. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be like that.
Oh, and he goes one better. Walks down Rex Hampus. They just disrespected every smoke grenade, every potential line of defense.
That was a really cool attack. I mean, from Big, like, NiP were just thinking about what's the next stage of the round. Big were already thinking about executing.
Wow.
Yeah, and the thing is that NiP didn't know that they invested into that. They didn't know until it was too late. Goddamn, Keto.
Yo, he's had enough. 4 kills with the AK. Walks in, just dumps him out. Rez thinking he had that deeper angle. Dude, it's just perfect peak, perfect timing.
Sliced up.
Came with a flash, I believe, but not even needed.
Yeah, they threw that early. The whole setup is rocked, and they just forfeit so much control. It's not even time to rotate. That's it.
Oh. Oof. That is a tough pill to swallow. Ninjas, they have just kept themselves in this CT side. They finally stringed together more than one round by winning 3 in a row to take them to 14, and then Big bite back. Keto kicking this one off with another headshot as he punishes that long peek, as he takes the man advantage, and Big Clan, they are just 4 kills away from a 2-0 revenge match and a top spot in Group A.
Oh, and they don't make a noise to the flash. They try to bait that attention out. And Xanteris will start to run up. The Monster,
he's still on barrels. Comes wide. Denied by tabseN. Searson and Xanteris with more kills, and sure enough, the B site has fallen. And while Naka's showed us some nice opping, man, he's gonna walk right into his death. Searson closes, and Big, that sweet, sweet taste of revenge here on Overpass. It was looking like another OT needed. They go for the audacious buy. No op versus the 2 snipers, and they just mauled them on the A site.
That was really interesting to watch from a number of angles, okay? NiP put up a strong defense, but Big, I mean, they look good from the calling perspective. They're doing unique stuff. Xanteris is hitting hot. Searson's hitting hot. Keto is hitting hot when they need him. That is pretty insane. I mean, first Vertigo, but then that's even a, you know, this is a map that even feels better in some sense, right? Because it closes the series, they top the group, and it's 16-14.
Double their money here at the Blast Spring Groups, and also take that top seed, as both these teams do, of course, qualify for the Blast Spring Finals. It is Astralis and OG that have been sent down to the showdown, where there is no lower bracket. So
it's always a nightmare at the showdown.
Damn, man. And you know what? Props to tabseN, because at the start of Overpass, it was looking a little uncomfortable on that CT side, and he clambered up the scoreboard, finishing 24-22 at the end of Overpass. So here we have it, of course. What a breakdown for Big, getting that revenge. That's got to taste good, you know, because I was pretty shocked that they lost to NiP 2-0. And again, you know, what a week from NiP. A BO3 victory over top of Big, a BO3 victory over top of Astralis, and it's ZTR's first weekend with them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, earning the spring final is fantastic. And for Big, I mean, it's all about cementing their place, right? I mean, I doubted them, and a lot of people have, in terms of like what last year meant. And they're trying to really, you know, write their story right now and show us they can be consistent in the top 5, that they are a threat, that, you know, they can take down NiP and Vitality, maybe make them look like underdogs this year. That's probably their next goal, and they are doing a good job of making an argument for it so far.
Incredible stuff here to close out Group A. We'll hand this one over to James Banks one more time.
Thank you very much, Scrawny and Launders, as we do see it almost go to overtime. There was definitely that in the water that could have happened, but Big, they came back, they managed to make it happen. They got the revenge they wanted.
They did get the revenge, and I think it's a scoreline that almost satisfies everyone in every stories, right? Because on one hand, you have Big making the statement we wanted, winning the first map cleanly, fighting back on Overpass, cleaning that 2-0, moving in first seed for the finals. And then for NiP, I think it was important for them to put up a fight, right? To put up some resistance, to say that on their map pick, the map that they had prepared, they would make life hard for Big, and so they did. If it had been a wash for Big, it would have put a dent on what NiP were able to do this. But now we don't have that dent. NiP put up a fight.
And it showed them that they can be a legit team on Overpass. And let's be honest, we didn't expect them to come in and repeat that success of before. And the putting up the fight and fighting back at the end and putting some more numbers on the board was an impressive statement to make, especially after that Vertigo where they got annihilated.
And that's the thing, they made a statement, not only in this game, but at this tournament. We cannot take away the fact that NiP, they beat Big Clan the first time around. They beat Astralis as well. No matter how much you want to emphasize that Astralis may be in a down period, Big may not play their best game in that game, then they still beat him, right? So I agree, and I think this probably would be one of the first times I've ever said it, but I feel like both teams are coming out of this map as winners. As you said, I echo that sentiment. I think NiP can be proud of what they performed, and I think Big can be very happy for the fact that they won the game and they finished as #1, as they were supposed to, going up against NiP.
And I remember this, right? The full finals, Big finished third. We didn't expect too much of what they'd be able to do against some of the bigger names in here. Now it's their first event being a partnered team here, and they walk away in the groups of first place. It's an impressive start for these guys.
It's job done. It's job done absolutely for Big, and there are numbers of positives that we can take away from that event. First of all, I think Big is slowly developing an interesting map pool. You see the level they have on maps like Vertigo, like Overpass. Dust 2 is still decent for them. Suddenly they start to play all the puggy, but also the tactical map. They have a sweet middle ground where they can attack on different angles in the Veto system. Individually speaking, I think we need to talk about tabseN's resurgence as a player.
Oh, yeah.
We touched on it at the end of 2020. He was shaky a little bit. He himself said in an interview, he's not finding his groove, not finding his confidence. He was a very good player during that event. If this is the tabseN we're going to get for 2021, that's going to be one more factor to make sure Big stays at the top.
And also, I've got to touch on Keto a little bit, right? Because we speak about Keto and Tizian, okay, we don't expect mad numbers out of them. But I felt like across multiple games within this event, Keto had a lot of impact. He was coming up huge, especially on the CT rounds.
Yeah, I think both Keto and Tizian are growing on me, to be quite honest, right? They're very subtle players that don't really... Yeah, it's kind of nice, James. The two players that don't get a lot of attention, let's put it that way. Two players that don't go into the spotlight, but the more and more I see them play, the better and better I think of them. I think they're doing a good job. Keto with this entrance as well. They're showing that when needed the most, they also have individual skill to go up against some of the best guys in the world. They can take the duels. So despite being the supportive elements to the team, which they still are, they still have great abilities. They can be clutchers. They can be the guys closing out the rounds. They can be very versatile in the way they play Counter-Strike. So as a support cast to your Santaras, to your tabseN, and to your tabseN, I think they're doing a fantastic job.
They really are. And another man who's been doing a fantastic job, we've already mentioned him multiple times, it's tabseN, who is joining us for the interview. tabseN, the first thing I want to ask you, mate, is, well, you spoke to us not too long ago at the previous blast and said you were finding issues with your confidence and finding your form. It certainly seems to be working now, so what's changed, mate?
Man, good to hear you guys. It's been changing a lot, man. I just changed my complete rhythm, like my routine, and I just focused more on myself, like health-wise and individually-wise, to get more in form again. So I'm glad it pulled out.
And it certainly did pull out, mate. You made a really big impact within this, and the revenge against NiP here must have been very sweet for you guys. But I want to know also from your point of view, how nice is it having everyone together in the boot camp facility now and having everyone close by? Does that make a big difference for you?
Oh, definitely. It just feels like a LAN tournament itself. Like we're in the bootcamp room, we are just preparing for the game by game. For example, after a tough game against Astralis, we just eat together and then we are talking about the next game, what we did wrong against NiP, for example. And it's just completely different. If you're in the same environment, you have really nice people around every single day who are taking care of us. Without them, it wouldn't be possible to play such a good Counter-Strike. And I'm just really happy that everyone is here and we managed to be here. And I'm just really happy.
tabseN, first of all, congratulations, man. You talk about preparation, and I want to ask you a little bit about Dude and your relationship with him, and how is it that you're working guys together? Can you shed some light on how he's helping you out?
Of course, thank you first. Yeah, our relationship is pretty much the same like with Toby, I would say. Like it just feels amazing to work with such a guy who is really humble. He was really trying to work his ass off. He's just doing everything for the team. What needs to be done, he's doing it, and he's not like putting himself into the light. So it's just really amazing to have this kind of guy in our team, and I'm really happy that he's just showing what he's capable of. He's giving very good calls in the most important rounds. I would say he's just giving some really good input, what we are doing good, what you're doing wrong, what we need to still do the same and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just really good.
Absolutely. Just now, a question. From my perspective, it feels like your lineup now has coherence. Everyone is playing a role that he's comfortable in. Would you agree with that? Or do you still feel like some players have to evolve or improve or adapt in some situations?
I think everyone is getting there, but I think, for example, Quito is a little bit still shaky in that kind of sense. He has really good moments, especially this tournament. He was playing, I think, out of his mind in some games. He has really good performance overall as well, also in practices, but he still needs to feel comfortable with his position overall, but he's getting there for sure. And everyone else, I think, is really feeling very good on his position.
And speaking about role, I mean, for you now, you've been a leader for a while. I was looking at you in some of these face cam moments. You seem to have the authority sometimes. You know, you have to push your teammates a little bit. Can you tell me how you feel in that role now? If it's becoming natural for you, if it's still some effort?
Now it feels definitely natural. I'm also like this type of guy that if I see someone who's down and who's not speaking truly, like I need to pull him out, and I pull my teammates out, and like I like to be it as well, and I like to have I like to have this kind of feeling that I need to do it. I need to be the guy, and of course everyone else in my team is just supporting me as well. Of course our coach, like they're just pushing me as well to the limit, and without them, of course, it wouldn't be so easy. And I'm just really happy that we are at the same page, everyone, and it makes me so happy what we have achieved, and we are just getting there. We are playing really good, consistent Counter-Strike. Day by day, we are just improving, and I can't wait to play more tournaments.
You're talking about improvements, you're talking about consistency, and there's no doubt that what you managed to do in 2020 was stellar, right? A lot of us fans, experts, and whatnot talked about you guys being maybe not sure whether or not you could replicate those performances. Now, you've shown us in the beginning here of 21 that you're still up there with the very best in the world. Do you think Big has what it takes to get back to be not only, number 4, number 3, but be the best team in the world again?
Yeah, of course. Like it's about time, I would say. Like I think we showed it in 2020. Like you said, analysts, other teams, also other players, they had some doubts. I think now we are just there. I think also other teams now accepted how it is with the situation overall, like with the land situation. We can't make it, so this is how it is. Everyone needs to accept it, and I think at the moment we are just getting there. Like teams are not underestimating us, and I think it's for a reason.
I agree. You convinced me for sure. You've been stellar as of lately. Now, tabseN, if there's one thing you had to point out, what is one area you guys can get better at? You rely a lot on Sirius and you're relying a lot on your in-game leading, but as a whole, your team seems very, very, let's say, in synergy with each other. Is there one area in the game, whether that comes to communication, map pool, one thing you want to improve on, and one thing that you think that can unleash you guys for 21?
I would say definite coolness. Like in some situations where just really heated, everyone is screaming, everyone is really pumped to win the round. And then there are some small mistakes. For example, like we had this in the previous game against NiP, it was 15-11. We were at the 5-on-3, we killed 2 people, and then we just managed to go 1 by 1 on the side. We just lose these kind of rounds. And I think if you get more experience in this kind of situations, I think we will just close the easier games more often, and then we have also a better showing.
Sounds good.
Well, tabseN, a huge congratulations once again to you and the boys at Big. We look forward to seeing you when it comes to the finals, mate. Go off and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day and night, of course.
Cheers, mate. You too. A very happy tabseN, and rightly so, because for the context right in this, for people to know at home, from where he was and when we spoke to him, it didn't seem like the same tabseN. This is a tabseN who's back oozing with confidence and feeling himself again.
Yeah, look, I'm completely biased when it comes to tabseN. No, he knows I love him profoundly as a human being. He's a nice human being. Also, for a little bit of historical context, tabseN is a player that a few years back was a beast individually, right? And he was playing it big. And I know he's had some opportunities to go in different places, but he stuck with the project. He stuck with the people he loved and he wanted to work with. And they grew. That project grew. Some new players came in with Sirius and Quito, and they were the 2 players they needed. And it's just, it's great. Like, some human beings deserve to have good moments. And I think he's definitely one.
And we deserve to give Big some credit as well. I was just looking at the world ranking, right? Not at a single point throughout the last 8 months have they been outside of the top 8. They've been a top 8 team consistently throughout more or less the entirety of of 2020 ever since they got up there. And now they're starting 21 being up there with the very best, beating Astralis, beating NiP, winning the group stage. They're probably not going to fall out of top 10 anytime soon. So we're looking at a team that has been within the top 8 for almost a year. They're going to be there in for a year. We have to put some respect on Big Clan's name. We have to put some respect on Tabsn as an in-game leader and their project as a whole. I really, really, really do like them because they seem to work a lot and they get the results they deserve.
And I'll add something to that as well, right? One thing you mentioned is the support staff behind Big. Big was grown up through actually individuals coming together and forming an organization. It wasn't like a huge organization to start off with. It came through the growth of Counter-Strike, and they put together the German lineup at the beginning. Then they slowly went away from it, sadly, and maybe not what they wanted to. Then they built it back up into something successful and something the German community can be proud of, but also CSGO can be proud of, because it wasn't done off the way of like buying and picking up stars, right? It was built from the ground up, and we don't often see that today.
It's a philosophy that's somewhere in between the grind and the stubbornness in a positive way, you know, like we're not gonna let go. This is how we're gonna have success, even if it takes us weeks, months, maybe a year, half a year. The foundation we're building, we believe in, and I think it's gonna work long term. And as Jacob is saying, results are proving that it actually is working. Yes, they might not be the #1 team in the world unconsistently, but I mean, they're still doing good Counter-Strike. They're playing very high level right now. They are in the top 4. What else do you want from them? They're improving.
And it's legit Counter-Strike, and this was a legit win. When you've got names like Astralis in your group and you're coming up in first place and you're taking them down in that fashion, you can see why they deserve to be in this spot. And again, we've got to point out, okay, NiP also made it to the spring final. Fantastic work for a team that's just changed up their roster. But the other two names, OG and Astralis, are down in the showdown facing that single elimination. And this is where we're sat right now. But we got a good few more days coming your way for plenty more Counter-Strike action to decide who else is going to be filling out this spring finals teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For a second I was waiting, maybe there's something coming, like a reveal.
I wish I had something special for you, but I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
You left me down on that one. No, I'm just joking, James. Obviously, there's going to be a really, really high-level Counter-Strike following up. If I'm not mistaken, my friends, the Frenchies are going to be in Group 2. That's going to be nice to see Vitality come.
The French fan boys.
Super biased.
Dude,
you had your Astralis. You tried with Astralis and it didn't work out.
I don't care about Astralis at all. You should know by now.
Well, this is what's happening, because tomorrow we have a day off, guys. We get to relax for a bit, and everyone at home maybe gets to just wind down a little bit after the crazy Counter-Strike action we've seen, because when it comes to Monday, we'll be lighting the stage back on fire once again. Complexity, Vitality, EG, and G2 all in one group. And I'll be honest, right? I'm really happy to see Complexity again, because we already know Poison's back in the mix.
Yes, that is the one good news for Complexity. Finally, we get to see the roster being put together now. What are the expectations we can have with that roster? We're going to discuss that a little bit more on Monday. They might just get eaten alive by Vitality, one of the 3 best teams in the world. But it's great to see this 5-man roster finally together after all the obstacles they had to deal with.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long time, right?
We've been waiting a long time, and we finally, hopefully, get to see JKS unveil the potential he has. Config getting back into shape. BlameF, one of the biggest surprises of 2020 as well, being the best fracking in-game leader. There's a lot of positive signs that you could attach to this lineup, but they need to showcase it us. Another matchup that is coming in right there, EG versus T2, James. I am so excited, because both of these lineups, to me, they have to show something on the server. Yeah. EG, it's been a bit of a... not so good, performance as of late. I was trying to find another word for shit, but I couldn't.
Using up that, we still said it, of course.
So we may as well go with it. It's been a bit of a mess for them, let's put it that way. Whereas for G2, when you bring in Nico, when you bring in one of the most, dare I say, the best riflers in the world of Counter-Strike, one of the most explosive riflers, one of the best to ever play the game with the rifle, and you don't find instant success, then you gotta wonder why you did that in the first place. Is he not fitting into the lineup? Can you not elevate him and Honda at the same time? G2 has been a little bit up and down so far, and I want to see them go up. I want to see them go stonks, Maniac.
I just like the wave. I thought you were going to go for like this. I don't know.
Did a worm?
Yeah, he's just putting a wave or something. Whatever. Let's go ahead.
Well, we're going to keep these dance moves until we come back on Monday, because we are done for another day, and we get a day off tomorrow, as do all of you from the Counter-Strike action. But I know you'll be back here on Monday, rocking it with all of us once again here as we're moving into Group 2. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good evening, whatever you're doing, and we will see you back on Monday.
It's now or never for G2. It is now or never for them to perform.
They gotta be one of the best teams in the world, and they gotta show us from the get-go of 2021.
And a deep T smoke, but Nico double kill. Vinny inside the fire will be his 3rd. And the 4th.
We expect a lot from these guys, but when Breeze and the boys are performing, they still have what it takes to be up there with the best.
Out
now. Bullets is tearing, and it's up to Ethan. Oh, he turns. He wants to go for the triple. He's already done the damage. I think he's got the time. Another headshot.
You would like them to come in here in full force and show the world what they can do. They have the potential to be up there with the very best.
Takes down Electronic, and it's all on Simple. And Flamef gets the second kill. He's doing all the work.
But they're coming into 21 with a lot of expectations on their back. I think we have to recognize the pressure on towards Vitality right now is enormous.
They still don't have a kit, and he's going to shoot the guy defusing. Apex, an absolute hero at the end.